have you had a chance to review it?
I have, yes.
Comments? Anybody like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, we approve.
Do we have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. For historic districts and landmark for the Pollock Krasner House, tax map number 300-62-7-3.5 and 6.1. Anybody here for the applicant? You want to postpone this until, anybody for the applicant? You want to hold on to this for a little while and see if it comes a little later, or you want to go ahead?
I think we can approve it or review it.
No, I agree with you. I looked at it also. It's perfectly fine.
This is an application to put a historic marker on the property. It has been designated as a historic landmark. It is a plaque. All right.
Yep, that's good. You want to make a motion?
All right. And the location is within their property.
Is that on Springs Fireplace, the
Yes.
sign?
Yes. I'd like to make a motion that we approve this as submitted.
We have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
For Kevin Bishop, care of Fred Through Architect, tax map number 300-63-5-10.
You sit up front?
Yes, if you would, please.
Your name for the record, please?
My name is Fred Through. I am the architect of record, representing Kevin Bishop at 21 Old Stone Highway in the Springs.
Great, Peter.
This is an application to do a restoration on I don't believe the house itself is historic,
It is not.
right, but it is within a historic district. This house is between the general store and the Ashwag Hall.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially the general store, the stream, and then Kevin Bishop's house is on the opposite side of the stream.
Right. And perhaps you would like to present to the board
Sure.
what it is that you're
So,
proposing.
Can I just see, excuse me, can I just see a survey real quick? If you,
I have one here otherwise.
thank you, perfect.
Okay. Somebody wants to see photos of the house. Essentially, that's the house in question. These are the greatest shots, but it was more for color than anything else that we were trying to achieve. Gray house.
Is it
whitish
visible
trim.
from the road?
Oh, yes,
Yeah, it is.
absolutely. It's
Okay.
about 20 or 30 feet off the road,
Okay.
behind some hedge.
There are some hedges there, you
Yeah.
really do have to
Look
look
for
for
it.
it, but you are aware, because it is a two-story
Mm-hmm.
house. And,
And the church on the corner, is that
That's the.
where it says cemetery? Okay, good, okay,
Cemetery
yeah.
is between this house,
Okay, I'm good.
quiet neighbors.
And this construction is due to the fire repair?
Yeah, last Thanksgiving, there was a power surge that created that ignited a fire in the mechanical space below the house. Mr. Bishop was away, visiting with family or elsewhere, and the house a small fire started to burn through the floor system, and then it smoldered the entire day. So most of the damage is actually smoke damage. So the entire insides are being replaced, the windows are being replaced, so there probably will be replacement of the exterior finishes because of the windows being switched out. But essentially, we're building the house exactly back as it was. So colors, everything will be the same. So that's the intent. And then-
Materials on the roof the same?
We're not even changing the
The
roof,
roof
it
is
wasn't even
staying.
That's
damaged.
great. That's great.
So we'll be swapping out for AZAC, same color, as
Right.
opposed to the wood, which is rotting and those kind of things, and moving some walls internally.
And the colors are?
The colors are exactly as they are. It's a gray exterior.
Is there a
Mr.
name for
Bishop
that?
is an artist, and he calls the trim actually gray, but it's a very, very light gray. I would call it white. But he essentially wants to mimic exactly what's there. He said, if I had the color codes, I would put the exact same ones back on.
All yours.
The only question that I have is, in the description, right now, the windows are white,
And it says gray.
and it says gray.
And I clarified with the client this evening before I came here. I said, when you say gray, he said, well, the color they are right now. I said, that's really white.
Well, we
He
need
said,
to
well,
know.
no, they're really
so
a very light green.
The application's got to match that.
It will be white, is what it is, and I'll gladly.
Okay, so if you read that into the
I'll
record.
redline it, or you could redline it, these are the colors right here.
We'll just read it into the record.
Those are the colors.
You might also be referencing an off-white, there's a
that's
gray,
what he's
like
saying. He's
Greige is an off-white. It's like a textile.
I would have said white, but
Or you could just say to
If you would
match.
just identify on your application.
I actually say in like and kind, so
Yes.
I would assume that's
I
correct.
think that's sufficient.
Colors to match existing.
Exactly, that's fine. It's on.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept this application as submitted.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure, thank you.
And date it?
When will the work be done?
13.
36, 13.
Coming along fast enough.
No, I just did something on the 17th, and sign it, I was in for it through.
That's it. Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you.
Sure.
I appreciate it.
That's great. Good. Have a good evening.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
For an agricultural overlay on Askew LLC, care of Harvey Arnoff.
Okay, this is not an ag overlay. The applicant used an ag overlay application. It's really fences, walls, and berms.
And there's also a code violation on it.
Yes.
So, we'll do this now.
Even though it's not
Okay.
agricultural
Yeah.
overlay.
Tax map number 300-48-5-38.1, Betsy.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know, well, can you identify yourself?
Sure.
I'm sorry, for the record.
Appearing on behalf of SQ LLC, my name is Joseph Palermo. I am from the law offices of Harvey Arnoff, located at 206 Roanoke Avenue, Riverhead, New York, 11901. Good afternoon.
I'm Andrea Umlis, I'm the property owner.
Great. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to point out that whoever made the application for this used the wrong form. They used it for an agricultural overlay district as opposed to a fences, walls, and
Okay.
berms. So that's why you're listed under that on the agenda.
understand.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is a property located in Montauk at 28 South Elbert Lane. And it is up in the Shepherd's Neck District, up above Fort Pond. And there's a group of small Tudor-style, Carl Fisher Tudor-style worker homes up there. It's a very tight area. The lanes are very, small, and the homes are very small. And they're very sweet and charming. And this was actually before us last year because there was a code violation because there was a fence in the front facing a street, alongside a street, which was 6 foot without ARB approval. So when I went out there last year, what I identified was a 3.5-foot picket fence with a 6.5-foot poles and plastic black deer netting. Okay, and so this, I believe, was denied at that point, and I don't remember if somebody didn't show. Is that?
I don't know what happened, but the fence has been taken down since then.
I was there the other day, and what I discovered is that the fence last year was in the front of the picket fence, and on Tuesday, it's behind the picket fence, so it hasn't been taken
Well,
down.
it's been changed pursuant to your office's guidance. I called here to seek approval on that, and they said as long as it's behind the fence, that was permissible. However,
Who told you
Can't
that?
imagine that.
I couldn't tell you the person's
Well, I
name.
can't imagine somebody from our offices telling you. that.
Okay.
So,
That's not the fence we're seeking approval for, though.
What fence are you seeking approval for, and because that's what I assumed was the code violation? Are you seeking approval for a fence in the driveway area, this one?
that the fence?
That's the back of the fence, yes.
Right, well, this goes into your driveway area, right?
Oh, that fence? No, that was not the,
Is this not your driveway?
it is my driveway, but that's not the subject of the violation.
Okay, so what is the subject of the
In
violation?
that photo that you're holding up, it's the fence that's behind the shrubbery.
This one?
Yes.
The stockade fence?
And another piece of that fence.
Right, okay, so what I did was I took some, this is if you're coming up the road, you see the back of the fence, and this goes into the driveway. When you're on the inside, there's some evergreens that are planted in front of the stockade fence, as well as in addition to the vertical stockade, there's some horizontal fencing.
That's my neighbor's.
That's your neighbor's
Yes,
fencing?
that's Mr. Britton's who filed the violation against me
You've
for
already
the
been
fence that's
approved.
contiguous
You're
to
done.
his.
Good night.
Okay, so this is
Nice to see you.
his,
That's his.
and this is yours?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just say this. Most of the property, this is, I'm,
Do you have a survey that we can?
sure, yeah, I do. Hold on one second. Here you go, you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
This is the driveway when you come in, okay, here's the house. This is what I highlighted is where that deer fencing is. So from my observing the property, I don't really have a problem with this 6-foot stockade fence.
Is that good side facing out or bad side facing out to the street?
It's obviously the bad side facing out, the good, this is your fence, right?
How about refacing that so that it's good side out on both sides, on your side and facing?
So when you're coming up the street, you
The
don't
area that
see,
it's next to is part of one of the unpaved roads. It's not anyone's particular property.
It's a public road or a private road?
It's one of those Montauk Development 511 Corporation roads.
Right.
Okay.
right, so my issue is not with this, but I agree with you, if you could, flip that out, so when you're coming up, you see the better side
just
of
double
the
it up.
fence, or put another
Okay.
layer in front. But what I do take issue with, and because of the neighborhood, no one else has large deer fencing, that this deer fencing that is behind the picket fence goes away. I'm not going to approve that.
It's 4 feet behind the picket fence, and my neighbor right next door to me has deer fencing.
What's
all
the
up-
height of it?
It's gigantic.
It's just,
No,
I
not
haven't-
your neighbors, what's the height of yours?
I think it's 6 feet.
It's 6.5, depending on where you measure, and it looks like this.
Okay. It was moved under the direction that whoever he spoke to, saying that.
I can get it in writing,
Well, what can you get in
the
writing?
direction to move the fence.
From
Just call
who?
back whoever I spoke to, I'll call
Well,
back their
who
office.
did you speak to? That's
I
what
can't
we're
tell-
asking.
I can't tell you right now.
Well-
I have the number in my office. I can call them back and get their approval.
Well, do you
in
want to
writing.
table this until he can come
we
back?
can do that. We can
You
do that.
had to have spoken to somebody who's here.
No, not necessarily. If he called the office, it would have been, and when was this phone call made?
I can look in my memos, if
Okay,
maybe it's
yeah,
in there.
great, yeah.
Where's the fence located?
Alongside, it's
Front
the,
and side, back?
the side facing the street.
Okay, so it can't be bit higher than 6 feet.
No, and it still needs ARB approval.
I know, but if
So
it was
anybody
higher
tell-
than 6 feet at any location,
Well,
then
6.5, depending on where you measure. So this is south, when you come down there, here, this goes into their driveway, and then the road goes this way. So this fence that in question is right along this street.
you may have said that.
The only thing I can tell you, the woman, it was a woman, she was a secretary, she no longer works there.
So, let me.
That's the only information I can tell you. I don't know her name off the top of my head, I'm sorry.
She wouldn't have the authority to tell you that.
May I ask?
She wouldn't have the information to even tell you that.
Wait, I don't understand how she wouldn't have the information.
May I ask?
Unless she was able to provide something in writing to you,
Okay,
there's no way that I could verify a conversation.
Okay.
We know what the code is. You know what the code is. We are limited in our purview with whatever is written in the code, not with something that's been discussed verbally, even if it were with me or with Betsy or her secretary or whoever it may
I
be.
understand.
Okay,
Please.
may I ask a hypothetical question?
Certainly.
The deer fence went up, obviously, because there's a huge deer problem in Montauk. I have camera photos of the deer coming in and coming out. What then would legally be allowed to be put up to keep the deer off my property?
6 feet and it won't keep the deer off your property. I have the same problem on my property.
I won't, as a singular board member, would not approve a 6-foot deer fence on that road in that neighborhood where no one else has deer fencing that is visible to my eye when I went around that neighborhood.
I would
It's
back you up
everything's-
100%.
And the property is basically enclosed 80%. So that's just, you know, where I'm coming from.
Totally
I
back
have
up.
in fact planted, since this became an issue.
We all have problems with deer.
But I have planted 2 pine trees, which are now in front of the deer fence, and I have 2
I don't
hydrangea. Well, your picture is not as recent then. That was went in last year.
I was here this is a picture I
You
took
see
on
it?
Tuesday.
They're right there. And they're
Where-
little, but they're growing, and I
Mhm.
planted them in order to obscure that, because I was told if I put up greenery to cover the deer fence, then it would be allowed. And I have 2 giant.
I don't know where you're getting this
Yeah.
information from.
I did not make it up.
No, we
mean, I've
certainly
tried to
wouldn't have
comply with
given you that
everything.
guidance.
I'm just asking you, was it in the last month or 2 that you got this information?
No, it was about 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay, it's immaterial. I definitely concur.
So if I were to, let me just clarify, if I were to plant more shrubbery in front of the deer fence, it would be permitted?
No, it wouldn't be permitted. Well, you can plant as much as you'd like. That has nothing to do with the issue. The issue is a 6-foot deer fence, and Betsy's point is well taken. It's just inappropriate for the neighborhood. Everybody's got the same problem. We respect that. You're already enclosed by 80%, which we wouldn't approve either. So you have real problems here. We're trying to work with you. So you need to understand that we don't want a 6-foot fence in the front there, whether it's 6 or 6.5 is immaterial. And we do want your stockade fence with a good side facing out. So you can double it up or you can replace it either way. That's the
And so
guidance.
if my neighbor who has,
I'm not interested in neighbors.
I understand it, so that
yeah.
hers is acceptable to you, but mine is not?
How did you say that? Why would you say that? We didn't
Because-
say that.
Okay,
So,
I'm just
so let's table
curious.
Well,
this.
first of all, when I went there last year and this year, I made a point to, you know, look around, and most people that do have any type of fencing, it's very short, stockade, I'm not sorry, excuse me, stockade, picket fence or post and rail fencing. I did not see what deer fencing you're talking about. If it's facing a road, then you can call and have the code enforcement come out, and they'll get a violation for that also, if you prefer that. And then we could discuss that at that point. But
Okay.
at this point, I don't know what fencing
So
you're
I need to
speaking
take the
about.
deer fencing down and put another fence up to have the good side facing out?
In the driveway area where you got the code violation for that.
Okay.
That would be great. Gardens, good?
About how much width is the driveway area? Is that definable?
Well, that's a good question. That depends on the fire marshal.
What do you,
You
wait,
use
what
the
do you,
guidance for that.
what do you mean?
You're saying there needs to be a good side facing out in the
Oh,
driveway
are you
area?
talking about the fence, or are you talking about the width of the driveway?
Oh, no, the
Two different
fence.
things.
There's no gate. So it would be the section of the stockade fence that she received the code violation for.
Okay.
We're going to approve that 6-foot stockade fence, but the good side has to be facing the outside of the other side of your driveway.
Does that make sense?
Yep. I
Okay.
understand.
And whether you turn it around or you just put another panel in front of that section, that is yours.
Okay.
And it's possible that your neighbor called about that because the bad side was facing out. It's very possible.
No, they called because I'm in litigation with him about underground wires on my
Okay.
property.
Okay. You have your hands full. We respect
I
that.
So how do we
We're
proceed
tabling this.
until,
Can I ask you a question? Because I might be
Sure.
able to give you some guidance also. Are you looking to, if you bring this driveway gate portion, this driveway portion into compliance with
Yes.
what this board will approve, do you want to get some guidance from my office on how to bring the rest of your fence into compliance so that you don't need any further approvals from the ARB?
Well, you know, to be honest with you, I'd like to know what I can do to keep deer off my property. I mean, that's really the critical
Like cutting it
issue.
down?
What? I mean,
That's not what we're here for. We
I
can't keep
I
the deer
understand
off your
that.
property. I can't
I
keep
know
them
that.
off my property.
she can have a 4-foot fence. She now has a
Absolutely.
3.5-foot
Correct.
fence. And I'm saying the board can take a vote, but I'm saying I would vote against any deer fencing on that side of the road. So if you want to have a separate conversation, that's fine.
That's very nice of you. Appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
Okay, no, I'm not trying to step on the board's toes. because of the location in this area where the house, I'm not even clear really how the survey where the property lines are. I would be uncomfortable right now giving any further guidance without looking at this. If you're going to deny that, I'm just not clear if the applicant is going to be,
Now, we'd like to move them forward, but we're going to have to table this until they come into compliance with what our requests
And,
are.
I didn't hop the fence in order to measure, but it certainly didn't seem to me that the deer fencing and posts were 4 feet past the picket fence. It seemed like it was just, behind it as opposed to in front of it from last year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But how, when we table it, why are they?
that's what I
Yeah. Why are
interpreted.
we
I'm not clear.
tabling?
Why are we tabling this?
Why can't
We're
we
tabling-
approve what we suggested, and then when they get the resolution and I have to go out for a C of O, I could see that, A, the deer fencing is gone, and that the stockade fence had been switched.
We could do that.
I prefer that as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't, yeah.
Right, that's what, I wanted to make sure that if
That's
you
fine.
really only wanted that approval and you'll just bring
I think
everything
you
else
need to make a motion.
down.
I would like to make a motion to approve that the 6-foot stockade fence on the applicant's facing driveway, the good side faces out for the length of the stockade fence that's on her property, and the deer fencing that runs along the side of, what's the name of that road?
South Elder.
South Elder is removed.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, great, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
No, not at all.
Good to go? Great. From Michael Frischberg, John Laffey, tax map number 300-197-8-11.
Let me just give this to Derek.
Anybody here for the applicant? This is an application to replace an existing fence with an 8-foot tall deer fence, which actually has been installed.
Wait, where are we?
We're on Osborne Lane. Okay, Osborne Farmland, correct. This is a wonderful house on an ag overlay that I've been watching the reconstruction of and the revegetation of, and now the fencing of. They have done a beautiful job. If you look at this from the farmland toward the house, it's a pleasure. If you're looking from the house itself to the farmland, it's a pleasure as well. So all they have done actually is done the fencing on the one side here, which is exactly in place as described.
How tall are the posts?
They're 8 feet on the side, but there's nothing else behind. You'll see here, this is the actual house. And this is the scale on the deer fence,
What's the height of it, Richard?
8 feet. I would make a motion to approve it as presented. We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And it's in the back? The
Get on the side.
On the side.
And back. Side
The
back.
8-foot, the 8-foot.
Yeah, 8 foot.
And that's all the applications?
That's it. Yeah, everything else has been done. Have to vote. Yeah, that's part of the resolution. For John Celeste, tax map number 300-159-1-18.15. Please come up. Hi there, if you'd introduce yourself.
Sure. Jordan Celeste, the property owner at 34 Fieldview Lane, East Hampton, New York.
Great. Esperanza.
Jordan. This is an application, put my glasses on. It's an application, it's an ag overlay, as you said. It's an application for a new 2-story house and a detached garage, which is actually existing. It's just being refurbished, re-sided. And also the location of the doors are changing, no?
Correct.
Yes. And then also, application for cedar fencing, 8-foot height, total length 100 feet. And then we have to look at where you want it, because we discussed this today when I was by, right?
So I will need to revise the height to 6 feet because it's front facing.
Right. And then also the application is for extending an existing berm.
Correct.
The berm actually faces Cedar Street, and it provides a buffer, and the previous owner had put that in.
Is there a fence on top of the berm?
There's a fence along the side, which,
What's that mean?
Do you have any
there's a
photos
berm
that we can see what you're?
Behind the berm is a
Is
fence?
in front of the berm.
In front of the berm is a fence.
But
What-
so this was an existing fence. The house is on two fronts because it's Cedar and Fieldview.
Right.
It's deer fence, so it may.
What's the height?
I'm gonna guess it's probably 8 feet, so it probably does not conform.
It's facing the street?
Correct.
Okay. Doesn't.
This is not the fence.
Okay.
I couldn't get a good picture of the berm because it's very mature landscaping on both sides.
Can I see a surveyor? I'm
Yes.
just trying to get an idea of
Yes,
what we're
yes,
talking
yes.
about.
And I did drive by it again off Cedar Street. I didn't visualize the fence, but you say there's one there.
So is there
Yeah.
deer fencing here? Is this the?
That is, yeah,
And
that's,
what, 8 feet, and that's
The-
going down to 6?
yes.
Okay.
And actually cedar, wood fencing on the,
Along Cedar, we will need some kind of fencing. And
no, I'm sorry, the one between the garage and the house. And
Oh,
the-
that would be,
yes,
yes, that'll match the house, Cedar.
here, I'm looking for this.
Can I see this?
It's a routine.
Okay, so here's
So-
Cedar Street.
Right, correct. So this is the whole berm. Existing fence is on the inside.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it.
It's not on top of the berm, no. And the berm is like 4 feet?
It's about 4 feet.
Yeah, and you wanted to make it
If I
higher
can make it higher to mitigate noise, I would like to.
and extend it,
The berm.
the berm.
Correct. Currently.
Is there height limitations to berms?
Same as fences.
Yeah.
So he would only
there-
be able, to if it's 4 feet now, he'd only be able to go up
Go
to
to
2
6.
feet.
6 feet.
The
And-
code that I've read, and correct me if I'm wrong, it says 6, but it's variable to 8 with approval.
No, not facing the
where
road.
it is.
Not facing the road.
And the fencing behind here is now 8 feet, and
No,
No.
there's, the deer fencing along the berm is not 8 feet, is it?
in the
I
front?
haven't measured, but it probably is.
It is?
It's like,
Oh, is that something that you put in?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Oh, okay, no.
All right, well,
Well-
there's a problem with the whole thing
Yeah.
because this fence is on a reserve. Jameson, you need to take a look at that?
Not on this property. In a reserve.
Yeah.
If I understand correctly, this is the berm you're talking about?
Correct.
Yeah,
It's
See,
not
this
on
says
your
reserve
property.
area.
Right. It
that's
isn't.
that's
So
exactly
it's-
what I
yeah,
pointed out.
It's not on my property.
See the
All right,
reserve
so you
area?
can't do
No, I
anything
pointed
to
that out
it.
to him today.
Okay, that's
And
fine.
does this mean that this?
The other problem, Peter, is that that
completely
fence
fenced
is
in?
in a
Somebody else's
reserve.
fence.
Yeah.
That's the
In front of Cedar Street.
Just for the record, this is all existing.
Doesn't make any difference.
I'll remove it, I'll come compliant to code. I'm just pointing it out now so I understand what I need to do, so I'm code compliant.
Yeah.
Is the,
Okay, let's just take a look at this lot 16 and lot 17. Those two fences, are they your fences or do they belong to 16 and 17?
Those are the neighbors.
Recent my survey.
You had-
So these are not my fences.
Okay.
I believe that these are,
It's fine, no, just need to know, that's all.
Because as you
I
see,
don't know who put them
who
on.
owns that?
we looked at the perimeter of his property is the black line, so those would be
The dimensions, that's the property.
Okay,
neighbor's property.
so,
Yeah. Yes, that's what this is showing.
I think the fence needs to be moved into your property
Sure.
on it.
Which fence are you referring to, Peter?
The one along Cedar.
The one in the reserve area.
It's in the reserve. That's not his property.
Oh, this, you
Yeah.
mean, oh, yes,
So it'd
yes,
have
yes,
to go
of
into
course,
his property.
Correct, yeah. But what about the berm?
And the
The
berm's
berm
not
is
his,
also not
on
in
his
his
property.
property,
So it's
so
not,
he can't
do anything to it?
No.
Correct, okay.
And we're looking at 6 feet as a maximum,
For the fence.
correct?
Got it.
Can you see from the roadway, would you see this 6-foot deer fence from the roadway? No, okay.
Very difficult. I mean,
Okay.
there are plantings on both sides of the berm and sort of very overgrown. I mean, I don't know in the winter, but right now it's, and there are a lot of
arborvitaes,
ever, yeah,
very thick,
there are a lot of
very
evergreen.
clustered tightly.
And
Okay.
anything on the sides? No issues there?
Jameson, you want to table this, or you want to make a motion
I-
as to that effect? What do you feel like?
If
Can I
you
see
are
those,
all
Derek?
clear what
Are
he's
those-
applying for, I don't think you need to table it unless you need more information from
Good,
it.
Do-
okay. All right, so let's make a motion to the effect.
Do we
As
need to
you'd like to
discuss
say it.
anything else
Well-
about the gates and fences?
Oh, there's
Is
a
there
gate on
more?
top of that? I didn't see a
There's a
gate on that
proposed,
application.
it's not on the application.
Well, it's not on the
There's a
application.
proposed gate on the survey.
Okay, you need to bring this into compliance. So that we
I
have
think
a
first-
proper application. Okay. You don't need to modify this, but we're going to table this, and you're going to write an application that is specific to the code and what your requests are, both for the gate and for the fencing. Then you're going to take your survey, drawing of your survey, and give us an outline of where that fence is going, where the gate is going, so that we fully understand it. The survey was dated, I think, 2016?
This-
Yes,
This has all the
2016.
proposed fencing and everything on it.
So if
So
I
you
could
have-
make a comment, the main fence I wanted to bring today was the front-facing fence for the new house that is being proposed as well today. The side fencing, I mentioned it to you because I wasn't sure if it was code compliant and.
Well, you're asking for a
discuss it.
gate there, too?
Driveway gate, correct.
It's not on the application.
Okay, so I made that mistake.
When you say front-facing, do you mean the field view lane side of the
Is
property?
that part of
Yes,
this
because that will be
application?
new fencing that we are putting in with the new house.
Okay. And the,
Yeah, you can't make any,
do you have pool fence, are you proposing fencing that would make your pool compliant?
So now that I know that this is not compliant, I will have to, yes, redo the fencing, which we can table it, I can come back with that.
If he has a pool on the property, I'm just concerned if you were relying on the neighbor's fence that is not on your property, and then the fencing in the reserve that's not on your property, I'm not sure that, even if they approved the design, I'm not sure if the building department would think that that was compliant for pool protection.
Got it.
Okay, so what are you looking for, Jordan? What do you want now?
Today?
Yes.
I mean, approval to build a house, so I can go and get built.
We've got nothing to do with the house.
Well, no, but
it's on ag overlay.
it's an ag overlay, so we need to
Okay.
talk about the house, too.
There are two separate applications here, then?
Yes,
We're talking.
there are.
Actually, there are two, and one part is missing of the second.
Yes.
Okay. If you want to discuss just the effect on the ag overlay and just cover that resolution, I have no problem with it. The fencing and the berms have got to come back,
Okay, but
and the gate, and it's got to be amended to the application.
I have a feeling both have to come back, only because we don't have enough details, perhaps, regarding the structure itself, right? I mean, I don't know, do you need any
That's.
beyond what's here?
You've been out there.
I've been out there, I've seen the existing house, I only have.
Where is
plans
the ag overlay from the photographs that you have here?
behind here.
is this
So
house
this is
going
facing
away?
field view. This is staying, this is the garage.
Yeah,
The house is going away, and it's being turned.
and they're
so the
putting a
front-
new house.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's on,
We have elevations for it?
yes.
Can I see them?
So that's why I said before we move any further, thank you.
Just in actually, in case you get lost later. Where you are.
There we go. This is our exteriors.
And on this survey, they don't have doesn't show where the new house is going, right? It just says
Yeah,
a survey.
I saw this. I had a
It
question.
does.
It does.
I was asking the question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Peter and Diane, do you want my copies? Or then there's elevation.
in other words,
Peter?
this is the picture that, this is this driveway,
Right.
right here.
Oh, so it comes in off of field view?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's a horseshoe at the moment.
Right,
They're planning to eliminate this
Okay.
whole asphalt
right.
area.
And the
So
ag overlay is
is
here.
here.
Right.
Correct.
So just this part of the house faces the ag overlay.
Right.
I understand.
Okay.
I have two questions. First of all, the amount of light that's being emitted,
We talked about that
Okay.
today, yeah.
okay? And these plans are not for construction, so, Peter,
And there may be some changes, you said,
Yeah.
correct? Minor or?
I think we're jumping the gun to give an approval on an ag overlay.
Can I make a comment about the light?
Certainly.
The light is not ag overlay facing, if I can see that copy. of the
Yeah,
script.
there are two that we have.
So there are two structures. This structure here, facing the pool, which is southeast, is the majority of the windows. The ag overlay, this is my neighbor's property, there are two neighbors. The ag overlay district is here, so the light emitting is really mitigated down to,
Then
Which
which one is-
elevation is
which-
it?
I'm sorry, which elevation shows,
That-
so this,
that
Facing
faces
the ag overlay.
this faces the ag overlay, and this is the front, and this faces the ag overlay. So this one, and
I think I'd like to see elevations. I mean, I can't work off of that. Peter, how do you feel on that?
Colors?
Yeah, that was the.
colors, natural cedar, gray. With
And
black-
windows?
Black windows, it'll be a cedar matching roof, the siding will match the roof.
What is the ag overlay? Is it a farm? Or
I think so, yeah.
what's on the back there?
So it is empty. Iconical Farms is along Long Lane. And
So you're
then,
behind Iacona?
not directly, and then there's an empty lot. He owns, I believe it can be split into 4, and he's been looking to split it into more, but he's been denied.
Yeah, you're going to keep these windows clean?
Yes. Well,
It
the-
seems like an awful lot of light regardless.
This here, along the back, is all arborvitaes that are about
It is really, really
18
grown.
to 20 feet tall.
It
So
is.
Yeah, I
the
don't-
majority of the light is going to be trapped within the property.
And will you see this from Fieldview or from Long Lane?
The front, from Long Lane, no, Long Lane is way over here. Cedar Street is all arborvitaes that are 20, 25 feet high. In the front here, that are arborvitaes that are 20, 25 feet high. Right now, it's a U-shaped driveway. I want to close this up with more arborvitaes. So the only section we'll see is from the driveway, which will look onto the garage, which will have one window. The garage is going to hide this other structure because of the angle. So you're going to see the entrance window, but the other front-facing windows, which are these 3 narrow windows, are going to be shielded by the garage because of the angle. So you'll see the entrance, you'll see this big window on the garage. From the rear, you're not going to see much because of the trees and the landscaping.
The agricultural area is here, right?
Correct.
Could you show me this elevation?
Yes, I can. This is this.
So this bed is is backed up to a floor-to-ceiling glass window.
I did not put it here. I don't know why the architect put it here. The bed is going to go here.
Peter?
There's not enough room with the door there.
She made a mistake. So the interior door is actually not going here. It's going
Okay, I'd like a set of elevations.
Well, he has.
Are these not elevations?
But if it's not accurate,
Well,
Well,
it is
it-
accurate, with the exception of an interior door and a bed placement location.
Which isn't our purview anyway.
Right, I know, I was just
Trying to
curious.
figure out how that bed
Right,
is going.
if that's the
you're
agricultural.
comfortable with that light coming up?
Yeah, because it's going to be a master bedroom, and it's not going to be overlit.
Right, and it's pretty far back.
Yeah, I'm just curious why anyone would want floor-to-ceiling windows there, but
Yeah, this is,
Can.
Any further questions?
Peekaboo.
Well, the only thing is that, on the application for the new house, is the materials listed, so that it says that it's black trim windows, and it's, you know, all that information that when you go out to do the C of O as built to what we approved. I was just hoping that all that information is supplied. So
Right.
Derek has it for the resolution, and Esperanza would have it for the C of O.
So when reading the application, so I've done all this myself, I've never done this before, I'm learning here as we go, unfortunately, the hard way. But the application, I thought it said it had to be shown on the drawings, which we've noted that all of the materials on the drawings.
They are,
There's a
okay,
cedar
okay.
They
roof.
are.
All right,
They're just
okay.
not samples.
Okay.
I did leave, after I left
All
your
right, well, we
property,
know
I
what
thought
black
of that, but-
trim is, and we know what cedar.
Essentially,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
And you're not changing anything as it's presented on those plans in terms of the materials or the colors?
Black, no, we discussed one potential change, there is a front-facing entryway awning, but,
But that doesn't affect the ag overlay.
okay, so it would be switched from black aluminum to just more cedar
Right.
to match the house.
Yeah, so I didn't see there was any problem. with
Okay,
that.
so if you feel that between you and what is presented and Derek has to make a resolution,
Be my guest?
I think after our conversation, having seen the property, I feel, and with our discussion today, I feel that I would make a motion to approve the house portion of the house application, rather,
For the agricultural overlay.
for the agricultural overlay.
Okay, any other comments on this? Second to this?
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
With
Okay.
regard to then the other application, we would need to
That is
have
being
more
tabled,
tabled.
and you'll
yes.
bring that back, you can bring it back to the next meeting, have your materials in by the 20th, noon on the 20th. And we'll review it on the meeting of June 27th.
Can we see the elevations?
and are you clear what you need to come back? What you're gonna,
Yes,
what you
I
have
need to change the survey, I need to update the fencing.
and add what gate, if you're putting a gate?
Location of gate.
For the
Location
application
of
for the
fence.
proposed driveway
Right.
gate, right?
Right.
Great.
Can I make a suggestion too?
And also the design of the driveway.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
And
Design.
all the information.
They would need to see the design, the color, the material of the gate,
Oh, and fences
and the
also.
fencing. So, and you might not want to I wouldn't maybe go
I
the
think
surveyor route. Don't get your survey updated yet. Mark up a survey. For them, it's probably helpful on which property line you can indicate, on this property line, the fence I'm proposing is this color, this height.
Right.
So that they can see, you can match up the picture, the proposed design with which property line it would be located.
And
But if
also,
you-
I'm
If
sorry.
you get your surveyor to update it at this point and it's not approved, then you're gonna have to.
Redo it.
Right, that survey is from 2016, you probably want an updated survey. on that one.
Mine shows that he did, May 31st, 2019.
Yeah, he just updated.
Oh, you have a different survey then?
It was
And also-
it was updated to show some of this.
Okay, great.
Yeah, some of the proposed fencing is on that survey,
Right,
correct?
yeah, I've been working with the surveyor.
Yeah.
Great.
And that also, I just want to help you with that, when you decide where you're placing the driveway gate, that you're at least 20 feet from the roadway, so emergency vehicle can get in and not be parked outside, blocking the roadway.
Got it.
And I believe it's at least 14 feet wide, so they can get through the gate if they need to.
Right.
Now, there aren't two applications here. There's just.
There were two applications.
There are two applications, I didn't spot it either.
It's not listed.
As two separate ones on the agenda, you mean?
Okay.
Yeah, no.
No.
Great, got it? Thank you very much. Sure.
Anybody make a second?
No, we
Oh,
did-
for the first one, we did.
We did.
did
And
that.
then we tabled the second.
I second.
Okay.
Yeah. What was his name?
Jordan Celeste. Okay. For Edward Fogarty, care of Thomas Zelli Workshop, APD Architecture, TPC, tax map number 300-163-3-10. Hi there,
Hello,
and you are?
Tyler Marshall, Workshop APD Architect.
Great. Peter?
We have reviewed this project before, right? It was tabled. You recall, this is the house at the intersection, or just past the intersection of 3 Mile Harbor and Springs Fireplace Road. This is a house which we expressed concerns about at our last meeting. It was a black roof, black windows, black siding. And we expressed concern that this was not quite in character or in keeping with the district.
I'd like to go on the record that I didn't have a concern about it.
Yeah, likewise, I'd go on the record with that too.
Okay?
And I suppose I would like to go on the record because I saw the property today,
Yeah,
and it's totally isolated.
yeah.
Have any changes been made since the time that Peter read this into the record in the last meeting?
Yes.
Please.
So as far as changes, I mean, I could go through the whole thing and reintroduce the project for those that weren't here.
I reviewed the project
Okay.
on LTV, so I'm familiar with it.
What changes have been made?
Okay. The changes, if you go to page 6, along the, so our house is 1,900 square foot house, single story. Not much has changed there. We have this pool fence that goes up the east and the north side. And when it kind of comes down the property running north-south, we have an Ipe, a natural Ipe fence that was, I believe, 7 feet tall. And we've since changed that to 6 feet. That was one change. There was also uplighting on the house in the front and the back. All of that has been eliminated. Now we have low path lights that are dark sky compliant, so there's no more uplights. The other concern was the color of the house, and on the next 2 pages, 7 and 8, we've provided some precedent images of, dark barns, dark gable houses that we find the darker colors actually, recede into landscape and kind of blend with the shadows, that just occur,
So
naturally.
this is, so pages 7 and 8
For
are just
example.
examples.
These are just examples of
And is
darker
9
houses.
the rendering that we asked for?
9 is the rendering you asked for, showing our house kind of nestled into the landscape. And
Where
it's-
you're tucking it back towards the
Yeah,
back.
tucking it back, and it's more of a, a charcoal color.
And you have samples?
Yeah, this is like a charred cedar and the roof color as well. And we're not trying to make it jet black. We're trying to, still show off the grain of the wood.
Right.
And this will weather a little, or no?
It will probably, it does weather,
Fade a
it
little.
fades a little bit off of that color.
Peter, your concerns?
I'm opposed to a black house in this location.
You see it from the street at all?
No.
Do you see it from Springs Fireplace?
Yes.
You can't,
Oh, my
You
gosh.
can't.
you can't see it from
I
anywhere.
could hardly find the driveway.
If you look at page 3, it's a flag lot that
Yes, I understand
you can't really see it. To the southwest, you can kind of see a service station, but I don't think you can see it from Springs Fireplace Road, especially because we're tucking it back further south on the site.
that. Is there anything else other than the colors that we needed to review?
Nope.
Would you like to make a motion?
Can you say, just for the record, what the application is? Is there any
Right.
fencing?
Right.
Just the house? I'm sorry, I don't have it, so.
Fencing?
Okay, we'll do it, Peter.
It's too small, I can't.
Okay, got it. Okay, demolition of an existing house, new construction of a 1,930 square foot, single-story, single-family residence with an unfinished basement, crawl space, exterior cladding, dark stained board, and batten siding, exterior walls, dark stained tongue and groove cedar siding, soffits and wing walls, midnight bronze, standing seam metal roof. This is midnight bronze. And sidewall cladding, black aluminum clad doors and windows throughout, new IP, wood decks, new gunite pool, new 4-foot code compliant mesh pool fence with planting, new gravel driveway. Fencing
Is the
The
IPE
EPA.
natural
Yeah.
finish on
is the length 1,930, it's not. What's the length of the fencing?
No, the E-Pay fence is probably 25 feet. There's a mesh fencing that's planted on both sides. If you go to page 6, you can see that runs adjacent to a wood fence that's on the ag overlay.
You're looking at something that I'm not, so let me take a look at yours.
Yeah, top right corner is kind of the detail of the fencing. The idea, the owner wants to keep everything looking very natural. The idea is to plant, native.
And it's 4 feet?
I can't tell where the fence is.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it 4 feet?
Marker.
Yeah, 4 feet to
Oh,
be,
then that's fine.
yeah.
Could you show?
Yeah. The mesh fence is here, and then the E-Pay fence is just this section here.
What are the colors?
The mesh fence will be a black mesh.
And the E-Pay?
It'll be natural gray.
There's a color chart, Richard, on page 14.
Yeah, that's great.
And the E-Pay fence is now 6 feet, not 7.
That's correct, yeah. And that was one of the comments from before that we addressed.
Want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the plans as submitted.
As modified. Modified because you have the change in the height of the fence. And there's
As
no other,
modified.
okay, and there's no other change other than the height of the fence?
And the lighting.
We got rid of
And the elimination of the uplighting?
yeah. And then the other change was more to the presentation, just to kind of further explain our color
Fine.
choices.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
No.
You got a no.
Okay.
Well, I don't think I need that, but we'll take a couple
That was
of
very
them.
helpful.
Thank you very much.
Yep, have a good night.
That's yours, too. This will keep.
Actually, no, let me get that one. Did you mark that?
What's that?
Let me
The
keep
one
those
that you
ones,
marked?
Yeah.
Oh,
You can take these.
okay. This is,
Yeah, you take these.
What's the type of lighting that you're using in the replacement of the uplighting?
Landscape.
it'll be low,
Landscape lighting?
yeah,
Could I have your initial
Dark
and
sky
date?
compliant.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
dark
on.
sky compliant.
It's on.
There we go.
And all the lighting on the house is underneath the roof line,
No, just
if
take it.
I'm not mistaken?
That was
It's
That
all
was
illuminated.
eliminated, so it's all
Yeah.
in the landscape.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For Edward and Jacqueline Marcus, care of Farrell Building, tax map number 300-197-8-9. Greetings.
All right, William Veneer Architects.
That's great. Hold on one second. This is an application for a single-family dwelling with front covered porch, rear covered porch, second floor terrace, swimming pool with hot tub, and looks like a 4-foot fence. Is that correct?
For the pool enclosure, yes. Small steps would be helpful.
I'll take one.
We'll check one out this end.
I'll take another one, please. Thank you.
All right, this is at the end of a cul-de-sac on Osborne Farm, right next to the ag overlay that we just did at 4. It is a far larger house. It's about 5,500 feet, if I'm correct.
37.
3,700?
Or 36, 32nd floor.
It's an interesting addition to the street. The property itself is a beautiful piece of property.
Beautiful piece of property, yeah. Rear faces south, overlooking
Yeah,
the
it's
Ag
just
Reserve.
extraordinary.
What do you mean by interesting?
When you go down Osborne Farm, there, when you approach the end of the cul-de-sac and you see the beauty of 4, which we just
Right,
reviewed,
right.
and the juxtaposition of that small 2,000 square foot house that is elegant as you're facing this. When you turn to the left, the piece of property is extraordinary as it
And-
expands
and there's
into
a
it.
twice
And
as
you
big
put
house.
this, you put this big house there, you lose the sedateness, you lose the feel, the comfort of
Right.
that.
And
How-
do you lose the view of the?
You totally
ag?
lose the
Yeah,
view.
okay. That's what I wanted to
But the
clarify.
house enjoys.
Thank you, thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, the house enjoys the view, and the house itself is what it is. You want to take us through your
Sure.
drawings?
The lot is currently a vacant lot, as you say.
I took pictures of it. It's around here some. This is the actual view.
Right. So that's the view they thought, I guess. The last page there is a survey. From the surveyor, you'll see how the house sits on the lot.
It's very special. The location is terrific.
There's a survey of the back page.
The
you
last
said?
page
Yeah.
is from
Thank
the
you.
surveyor, yeah. And the rendering. So the house is a gabled house. It's shingles.
This is what it looks like.
Which will be stained gray. All the windows are white, trim is white, fascias are white. It's a natural cedar roof, stone chimney.
Solar on the roof.
Yeah, there's solar on the
On the
roof.
back?
Yeah,
On the back,
it was
facing the
required,
back.
and what we did is we created a detail where it's actually recessed flush with the roof.
Nice.
So there is a pocket in the roof, and
Nice.
the face of the shingles and the solar panels will be flush.
And the back windows facing the pool face the ag overlay.
Correct.
All of them do.
Correct. That rear elevation faces south, is part of the ag overlay, but the only place you see the house is from this elevation.
Okay. I have comments, but within the parameters of architecture, Peter, how do you feel about it?
Seems to be,
So Google image, you'll see the property is this piece of property here.
Right, and the lots are empty next, on either side of it. Okay.
And you've seen the beauty of 4, which is just to the right of it, as you're looking at it. And
I
they
think there's a
have-
house in between.
Yes, but you don't see that. You always see the driveway.
Well, let me just ask this question to Richard and to Peter and to Jameson. It's not really under our purview, the size of a house.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Does conform with all zoning objects here.
Right.
Everything
I
is-
guess the only thing that I would say is that there's an awful lot of floor-to-ceiling door/stationary windows, unless they're all sliding, that face the ag overlay that would emit light. Those things are charged not to have such bright light facing the overlays. Where in the front of the house, you don't have that so much. They're more casement windows, and they're broken up with divided lights for the most part.
Right. And sort of the exact reason why the owner wants them is that they allow the most views of the yard.
No, I can appreciate it.
I think this is a bedroom up here. These are bedroom upstairs. Obviously, I believe that is a first floor guest room. So it's the rooms in the middle are the living spaces.
So the one to the right
One to the
facing
right,
is the
not-
guest room?
Yeah, not under the covered, is a guest room.
So that wouldn't have that much light coming
Right.
out.
Yeah,
Oh, it's just like at night.
You can picture it from this photograph.
Yeah.
The house is forward on the lot.
Yeah, it is.
There's a scenic buffer across the back, so the house was pushed forward.
Any comments, questions?
Well, it's a cul-de-sac too. It's
It
not,
is,
you know,
correct.
so it's not like there's people
Not in your
driving
face.
by and they're all gonna be
That's
sad
right.
that they don't see the.
Every house is different on that street. Questions? Comments? I'd like to make a motion to approve this as presented. We have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
I like the flush mounted,
Keep that set?
Yeah, the
Solar,
solar.
that's very-
that's- yeah.
That's set or not?
That's it. You're fine.
very
Thank you
progressive.
so much.
Sure.
Everybody should go that way.
Maybe it's the beginning.
All right, moving right along. For a business sign for Sport Time Multi-Sport Arena care of Hampton Signs, tax map number 300-167-3-1. Well, look who's here. Introduce yourself for the record,
I am
please.
Denise from Hampton Signs.
Nice to have you, Denise. Esperanza?
So I was a little confused at first because well, that and the addresses were throwing me off. So the first one on the agenda says 150, but it's actually 385. So I don't know where we want to start. I started actually with 150, so we can do that, if you don't mind.
They're all the same design.
They're all yeah.
Same thing, and all the signs there were pre-existing, and we're just updating the look. We're changing the shape a little bit of the signage.
And they're a little shorter.
They're shorter, squatter, but...
Correct.
No
Same.
lighting.
What?
No lighting.
No lighting.
There's no lighting on them,
And the
right?
same square footage.
Do you have a picture of what's existing there now?
Did I get, no, I didn't, I'm sorry. It's
Denise,
not
do you have one?
dissimilar
Yeah,
to
Denise.
what's there, do you?
It's, because this seems very
No, I do not.
active.
Oh, the ones that are there are even more,
Oh, really?
yeah, with,
Okay.
yeah. You could catch a glimpse of one, here, hold on. There's a picture here. Oh, that's an existing one right there, sorry.
This is all their new updated logo.
So they're eliminating the telephone number that's on, it's almost like 3 tiers, the existing one.
Yes.
And
So
it's
it's a
not,
little-
but this just seems very bright and busy for the area, because it's a very rural road. That's just my opinion. I don't know if that, if
I could
we,
laminate it with matte to knock it down if you wanted.
I mean, are these colors way accurate?
They're vibrant. Yes.
and that's their logo.
Yes, that's their logo.
And what I thought made it stand out more was the blue posts.
Yeah, I'd get rid of those blue posts.
I feel like the posts made it even, like, that was what made me think it stood
Yeah,
out
because
too
it's
much.
such a beautiful road.
Well, we can keep it, there's white posts there now, so we could just...
Can I
keep the
tell you
posts
what my
white.
thought are?
Go ahead.
Please, Richard.
Nobody's going to read that sign. It is so confusing. It's so much to look at one time.
Let me see.
They are already, honestly. This is actually more clear, almost.
I would say, I would actually eliminate the white posts and have you just do cedar posts.
Yeah.
The blue, you mean the blue?
That's their
the
logo.
blue post?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly
Not
their
blue. She
logo.
said there's white posts there now.
Nobody's going to have time to
I would
read it,
have
but
them just put new cedar posts.
I think Betsy's point is very well taken, that it just be a plain cedar post. That'll help.
Yeah,
That's fine.
It'll go away a little bit.
yeah. I think that, I agree with that, making it a little
What
more
about the
discreet.
border, Peter? You think the white border is also highlighting it too much?
No, just,
So much going on.
Oh, yeah, I feel like,
You know what,
Right.
because when I think of Long Lane, I think of Balsam
right.
Farms, I think
I
of,
thoroughly
you know,
dislike,
This is
Denise,
not Long Lane.
I thoroughly dislike
Town
this.
Lane, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
and just so I can point out, the existing signs are
Yeah, I know what these.
40, no, they're like 44 to 48 inches. These are near 59. So they're
Bigger.
bigger.
What's the
but
square
lower.
Yeah, but lower, exactly.
But
What's
lower.
the square
And-
footage of the signs? Are they double-sided?
16 square
They
feet,
are
double-sided.
double-sided.
Like the existing ones are
So
double-sided.
they're 32 in total.
Would it help the board if we took the sport time and scaled it down a little bit so there's more white space around there?
No, I think that would make it worse.
I would do just the opposite.
Yeah,
Right,
too.
yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
I'd
get rid of that,
eliminate
yeah.
the border,
The white.
Okay,
right, and make it blue all the way.
bring it all the way out to here and the top to here?
From the
Right.
top,
It's just too-
bring
it's
it all the
just-
way
it's so,
out.
like,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, making it smaller would just make it,
And from here, I can't even tell what this thing underneath next to the John McEnroe is. It's just
not
so,
legible.
it's broken up and.
May-
It's
may
not
I-
something I can change, though. It's
No, we
their
understand, we
brand.
respect
Yeah.
that.
And may I ask, I mean, why are they branding all of the locations with the same sign? I know they're all sport time, but are they all John McEnroe Tennis Academy? I thought there was only the one
question.
on Town Lane that was,
I can't answer that question.
Oh, it's a really good question. Thank you. Brilliant. Let's,
Why, I would think that they,
no, let's
Play it all
get this
different
accurate. No, let's get this accurate. So signage needs to represent what the commercial area is. And if it is not all three at all three locations,
Okay.
you can't do that.
well, we can investigate that.
Could be much better for them.
I know you want to get this moving, I can
Yes,
understand that.
yes.
We're going to have to table it.
Well, let's do this. How about we can I make a suggestion?
On the one where it is all three,
Yes.
yes.
Keep that,
Peter's suggestion
And
is
do the
good,
cedar
Betsy's
posts.
which
suggestion
is,
is good.
that's the one on Town Lane? Or is
yeah, that's the one on Abrams Path.
Abraham's Path?
Yes.
Okay, then that's different. Okay,
320,
So, I'm going to withdraw the application right now on 300-167-3-1, and we're reviewing sport time multi-sport arena at tax matter 300-167-2-16.3 on Abraham's Path.
Okay, thank you.
So, if you'd like to make a motion to the effect with those changes, that's great.
So it's, is that the application, I mean, is that the application there that you have, that you're showing us?
Can I make another suggestion? How about we, if I can't come into the office with a signed letter saying notarized by the owner, that this actually happens at all three locations,
Yeah,
would you
sure.
accept it?
Sure.
And then they would be all approved?
Sure.
With the cedar
Where's the
posts?
three, I thought there was two
No, there are three.
locations.
There's three
There are
locations.
3 locations.
Where,
One, 2, and 3.
what am I missing?
320 and 1,
320 has all the tennis courts.
Yeah,
The 385 has the big sort of bubble or complex.
is that even on the
I only see
agenda?
two,
Yeah, no, the dunes
Oh, the
is
dunes.
on that.
Yeah.
the dunes.
yeah,
Is
it's,
the
the
third.
problem is that the addresses,
Oh, I see. So the first
Excuse me.
one is not
It's
150, God
it's
bless you.
385.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my confusion.
385 what?
So, Abraham's.
Abrams Path, yeah.
which is-
okay, so the first one is 385.
Abrams Path, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The one that we're reviewing and approving
Is
is 320 Abraham's Path, is that correct?
Well, we're approving it with changes, correct?
Correct.
Approving it.
Wait, she's going, we're not approving, reviewing.
Right, right.
Right,
Am I
the
correct?
changes, yes, the changes are gonna be the cedar
Okay,
posts.
so let's address that, and if you would make a motion,
And
To
the
extend the blue.
expansion of the top.
Yeah, we'll
the
extend the
left,
blue to fill the
the white.
space. We'll do it, we'll lead right to the edge.
One more thing, would you
Yes.
pass that along to me, please? This is, right, this is the one that's in a, like a planter, right?
Yes.
And your proposed sign is like 5 feet? So is it still going to
It's
go in the
still
planter?
within the-
No, no, I know,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that that was the case, okay. So are we just addressing this one then?
just 320 Abraham's Path.
Okay. So I move to accept the application with the modification of the posts being natural cedar.
At 5 feet, correct? You said they're 5 feet?
I think they, is that what it's on there? Sorry.
It's not clear. I know the full height. I don't know what the posts are.
The old signs were at 94.
Right,
and
these are
this-
lower.
This is going to be lower.
This is lower.
And what is lower?
Some of the old signs are 98, by the way. I measured them today.
Oh, When I measured was 94.
Yeah. So they're, like, this is
Denise,
92.
what's the total height?
92.6.
92?
And we are
So that's
suggesting,
not 5 feet, but you're saying the posts were 5 feet, and then the sign
that's the full height,
Yeah, that's right.
is
We can go to 10.
92.
92.6.
Okay.
And then we're asking you to
Do a bleed to the edge.
do a bleed to the edge
On the
of
blue
the
Sport Time.
blue Sport Time logo. Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
Top and
On 3
sides.
sides. Top and 2 sides.
yes.
Got it. Good.
Yes?
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now, as far as tax map number 300-167-3-1, which is 385 Abraham's Path, pending your confirmation that all 3 facilities are on that property as
Okay.
well, and the compliance is as stated with Esperanza's initial motion, we would accept that. So
Okay.
we would need something from the applicant
Okay.
exclaiming that, and we will move forward on that.
Okay.
So, Jamison, should we table this or approve it pending that?
You can approve it. I would make the motion to
Good,
approve it.
okay, so
And
make a
we'll just make
motion
sure
to
that
that
that's in the
effect, if you
file.
would, please, Esperanza.
So I make a motion to approve, and we're just dealing now with 385 Abrahams?
Correct.
To approve with the same modifications as the previous application, pending a signed document stating that these activities take place in that, in
We have a second?
that location.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And lastly, the dunes, tax map number 300-167-3-1. Likewise, if you would, please.
So I make a motion to approve this application based again on the same modifications stated prior and with the pending document to be submitted.
All right, we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much.
Great, thank
Do
you.
you have anything else on the insurance? That's it.
Thank you.
That's great.
And are all the heights the same on each one?
They're all the same.
Okay.
And just one more question. All the locations are exactly the same, right? Yeah.
And they're all on property?
Good. And no lighting.
Are they on?
There's no lighting.
No, is there surveys that show that they're all on the property?
No, there were no surveys.
I had
Number
surveys.
You have, oh, yeah, sorry.
Yes. They all have
Yeah.
surveys.
Okay,
Okay, and they're all
mean-
located on property? Okay, great.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Best Pizza has been postponed. Care of Ocean Graphics, tax map number 300-49-4-22.
Let me give this to,
Take your time, take your time. Wait 1 second.
I'm gonna give this to Derek. This is Best Pizza.
Do you have anything else, going back to Derek, on the signs?
I think not, no.
This is for tax map number 300-49-4-22. Betsy?
Hi.
How are you?
You are, just introduce yourself for the record.
McLear, Ocean Graphics.
Thanks, Phil.
Okay, this is for a new sign at 6 South Etna Avenue in Montauk on this building. And this is the sign that they're proposing. And these are the colors, and the total square feet is, I believe, 20 square feet. I don't have a problem with it, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the sign for,
You have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You have another one?
I think another 2, Eastern Naturals and ARC.
You have ARC. Let's do ARC first.
Sure.
That's haha. And no lights, correct?
Correct.
For ARC Fine Art LLC, tax map number 300-171-01-31, 41, and 9. Peter?
An application for a two-sided sign,
Yes.
all right? modest, nice, 3 foot by 2 foot. All right. What happens to the sign which is there now?
Which one's that?
This one.
Oh, that one? I think they just put that there temporarily, so that was the sign that they had, it was an old one.
Right.
There were hooks there, so that,
So-
I guess, would go.
Isn't that where,
Tina with the
Tina
book.
was there
Right.
temporarily, so her sign must have been there.
Yeah, they had something there, and I guess they had an old sign, so just, I'm not sure what the plan
So
for
is
that
the
is. But
plan to
that
take,
can go down, correct, if, once they have the street sign. That was just so people can find them, I guess, in the meantime.
yeah, but there are 2 entrances to this building. and
Right.
That, right, by just having a sign where you propose it, which is right here.
Correct.
How do you know whether to go in there or go in there? And which is the entrance?
Right, but believe there was proposed window lettering on the door. Was that not in the application?
Nope.
Oh, it wasn't?
The only thing that was in the application was this sign.
Okay.
We're down at A or C for
I do know that, actually, I believe
Derek,
the
can I
hanging
see the
sign is being
picture?
changed to just an open and closed kind of thing. Which I didn't think that there was a need for approval for an open-closed sign.
No,
Right.
I don't think so.
So I think that was gonna be their indicator of the entrance.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion.
This is the location of the one sign,
Correct.
Yes,
and this is going away.
Yep.
yes.
Okay. Does it need to go away?
I don't know whether it needs to go away.
Does he have
I
enough
mean, what they're
space, does he have
talking
enough
about
square feet
is
to?
Yeah, there's
Right.
still plenty of allowance in the square footage.
What's the square footage on the proposed sign?
3 by 2, right?
Fine.
Which is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
more than enough.
Do
Okay.
you want to apply to keep it, or do you want to apply for?
I mean,
approval and approval?
we could apply to keep it if we could do a modification.
Sure,
It's
just
acceptable.
put on to the application, that's all.
You want hand
Peter
it
added
out?
to it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense,
Add it
right?
onto the
Yeah, why not?
application.
Just in case they want to.
And give me the approximate measurement of this hanging sign.
Sure.
Put that down on the application if you would, please.
Sure. Thank you.
Got it.
Will is here for, so we're doing him so he can go.
So just put it below it or in the same line?
Below it,
Okay.
and date it, then
Sure.
sign it.
I believe that sign
What is that, the west side of the building, where the hanging sign is?
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's right down west side, hanging sign, which is approximately how many inches by how many inches?
It's approximately, call it 18 by 10.
Okay, you still have it.
That's it?
That's good.
And
Date
the
it,
other one is
sign it.
6 square feet,
Yes.
Today's date.
the 13.
It's actually 12 because it's two-sided.
Oh, it is two sides, so it's not on the building?
No.
Oh, I see, oh, I thought you said it was on the building, I'm sorry, so it's
No,
double
the
sided.
existing one is on the building. That's what they're.
Oh, okay, great, got it, thank you.
Yeah, that's just a single-sided hanging sign on the building.
Jameson, that's to a point with 20 square feet versus 32 square feet with 2 different signs. Under 20 square feet, that's very interesting, we haven't discussed that. Great.
I'm
Okay.
glad it's under, so we don't
Yeah,
have to.
right.
You don't have to deal with that issue.
Peter, make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion, we accept the sign proposal as submitted with a modification to keep the existing sign, hanging sign on the west side.
As per amended on the application. We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. What's the third?
East End Naturals.
East End Naturals, tax map number 300-197-2-10.1. How many more signs can you get, more windows and doors?
I know.
Okay. This is an application for 2 on the building, 1 on the directory on the highway, a single on the building, double on the road. It's not happening.
Was there really that much put in there?
Uh-huh. You want pictures? You get pictures.
Sure.
Enjoy.
Because all of this stuff in the windows was, he had an old banner and he cut it up and taped it up in there, so I don't know what.
This
what
is
that
in
was.
the
That's all
Scott
coming.
Village?
Right.
Yes, that's all going away. This banner is
So
all going
what are
away.
we reviewing?
There was a decal for the door, the street sign, which was a two-sided directory, which is an existing structure.
Correct.
And then, I guess, 2 more window decals, and it was all within the square footage. All of this other clutter is just,
It is cluttered.
Temporary.
yeah, that was just, he
It
had,
looks awful.
oh, yeah, yeah. He had a banner, and I guess he cut it up himself and taped it to the windows, and that's what became of it.
All right, so I need you to identify for me which signs we're talking about.
Sure. There was supposed to be,
Bring up the application so that I understand it, and that you understand it.
the one you have there is the street.
2 on the building, let's talk about this 2 on the building business.
I believe that was miswritten, and it means 2 on the windows. That's what it meant by, on the building. It was just a
Okay,
logo.
I'm going to change that to windows, and then you're going to initial it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's no building signage.
1 directory sign on the highway.
Correct, which is the existing.
What's the measurement on that?
structure. It's right there, 48 by,
Well,
what was it,
12.
12?
Yeah. So we have a 1x4 on the street, which is on the directory. On the windows, what's the size of those?
The windows were, they're 28-inch round, or 20, yeah,
Here.
25.
25 squared.
Right. So it's about a square foot, a little bit over a
Is
square
it
foot
this?
each. Correct.
No,
Yes.
if it's 25 inches,
25 inches.
it's 2 square feet.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2 square.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're.
And you
we're-
got 2 of those.
Right, so we're at 4.
Are they, but one's 25 by 25, one's 20 by 20?
Right, the other one was the door.
Okay,
And what's the door, 20 by 20?
Correct.
okay, where's the door?
This one here.
Okay, where's the drawing for it?
It's
That's
right
right there.
Okay, so in other words, this is window and door.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, it's.
Directory.
Right.
okay.
For the
One on
windows,
directory, 48 by 12, single building. The double on the road, then that's 48 by 12 twice.
Correct.
Do me a favor, identify these properly from now on.
Sure.
Okay? The single on the building, again, that is 25 square, 25 and 20.
Right.
Sorry, are there 2
25
25
inches,
inch?
not
There's
25
2 25s,
square.
right.
There's 2 25-inch and 1
Yeah.
20.
Okay,
I believe we did the math, and it was just under 20 square feet.
Yeah, they're not 25 square, they're 25 inches.
correct.
Right.
There's
They're
a
2
deer
square.
right out the window.
Look at that, yeah, that's great.
Tag on both ears.
earrings.
Got earrings, yeah, he's
Yeah,
bejeweled.
she's coming in.
Which one is the one on the windows?
Which one is on the window? Which is the window?
These are windows, and this is the door. Correct.
So 2,
Yeah, this is, the
Windows.
text there, two
Saying,
two
look at what
for
you've done
windows.
to me.
okay. Initial that and date it. Initial this. This one is on the directory sign.
And that's
I'll mark it for you.
double-sided.
It's double-sided, correct.
Can you write that on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Double-sided,
Come
correct.
back.
And we are up here. Windows.
So you said it's under 25?
It's under 20 square feet total. Just give me your initials on that and the date. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve this as amended on the application and signed off on the photograph. Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure. This thing is impossible. Okay, great. Okay. For Powell is East, tax map number 300-189-1-1.
I think we skipped
So did we
Oops, did we miss one?
Here.
I've called it, so, okay, I've called it, and then we'll come back to it.
What do we?
You're doing Powell's? Yeah, come on.
Now we have to go back to green.
We'll go back to it after I missed that.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, how are you?
Attila Gates, I'm the manager of Powell's East.
Great.
41 Montego.
Tax map number 300-189-1-1, Diane.
Yes, this is a simple sign for the new restaurant in that fabled building on Pentago Road. And it's exactly the dimensions that it has been.
The exact sign.
Yes.
We just
exact-
salvaged it.
It's the signature of
Fruit
the
Street.
mother,
That is correct, yeah.
yes.
That is correct.
And it's very nice, and the down-facing lighting is existing.
Wanna make a
And I
motion?
make a motion that we
What's the
approve
square
this
footage on the sign?
application.
And it's double-sided?
It's double-sided, but it is 15.1 square feet.
It's very small.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's-
times
And
six.
it's single-sided, it's not double-sided, it's not that double-sided.
Double-sided.
It's
Is it
double-sided.
double-sided?
Exactly
You
the
see it on the
same,
other
exactly the
side?
same logo, yeah.
You
Yes.
see it on the other side?
So it's
I've
30
never seen
square feet total?
Yes. I think everything is in keeping,
The
And,
lighting is existing, there's no change on that.
no,
And there's no sign over the doorway, there's
no.
nothing at all. Great.
I
have
make
a
a
second?
motion that we approve the application.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much.
Thank you much.
Sure.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nice Italian restaurant.
It's great. So we missed Green Gear, Tara Burke, Lighthouse Land Planning, tax map number 300-184-1-8-10. Sorry about that, Tara. Okay.
It was quick.
Yeah, it was great.
Good
Okay.
evening, I'm Tara Burke here from Lighthouse Land.
Okay, so this is on Learning Hands Court,
Which is where?
off of
Stephen Hayes?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Stephen
like
Hand's
this,
path. We've done this before.
like
Yeah.
industrial area, correct?
Yeah, it's right up against the railroad.
Right.
Just if you're going east of the railroad on the other side. Is what we're looking at? This is 4 or this is 2? Okay, this one's 2. Correct, okay. So what else do you have to present?
Well, for this one,
Yep,
not much.
that's
I mean,
it.
This
Yeah.
was the existing approved sign by the ARB
Right.
in 2015. So the bottom tri-R is staying the same. The Stephen Hand's equipment is being replaced exact same size with Green Gear.
And this is as it appears. Let's see this, okay.
This is one-sided, correct? Oh, it is?
It is double. Square footage, 30.9 square feet total.
It's the exact same size
Yeah.
as the 2011 approval.
Lighting?
Nope.
Nothing at all. There's nothing existing at the present time either. I'd like to make a motion to approve it as presented. We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who's second?
Who's seconding it?
I did.
Okay.
Taking Gloria's and Boston next?
Yeah, it's coming up, yep.
Oh, sorry.
Dayton is also yours?
No, mine is Cahill to Gate. Ancient Mariner LLC. It's on the bottom of the next page.
Got it. For Ancient Mariner LLC, care of Tara Burke, Lighthouse Land Planning, tax map number 300-67-4-36.5. That's easy.
Where are we? Sorry.
We're skipping down
Oh, I
to
see.
fences and gates. It's the 6 Ancient Mariner LLC. That's his project.
Okay, so this is an application for a new gate for a new house being built on Old Montauk Highway, which is number 397. And the application is requesting approval on a 6-foot gate, total length 17.6. And the gate rendering looks like this, which is wood with mesh, clear wood gate, pure clear cedar with natural finish, and the grid 2x2 stainless steel welded wire mesh. So this is a picture that I took of the house. It's almost like a cube. That's it, there's nothing else there. And this is a construction gate where they want to put the 6-foot gate. But if you look facing, when you're coming down Old Montauk Highway, heading west, they have this nice, very, I don't know if it's like I didn't measure, it's like maybe a 4-foot, almost like a ranch type of fencing. And then this is where they want to put a 6-foot gate. So it's come before us about Old Montauk Highway and all of the larger gates that are popping up, whether we're approving them or they're being requested. And I just feel that to put a 6-foot gate in this small lot where there's this lower fencing, my recommendation would be to utilize the same design, material, and height, and have that on the inside of that, as opposed to a 6-foot gate.
I agree.
And how about losing the mesh?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm saying, and copy this in design. Whether it's retractable or whether it's two that open, and if they do that, then they don't need ARB approval.
So here's a rendering, just a little bit more detailed than that one. The material for the gate is intended to match that existing fence right here. The only difference is it's the fine gauge galvanized steel mesh in between, which will sort of disappear into
Yeah, really well.
the landscape.
We're suggesting it disappear.
True, but figuratively it would if it were there, in my opinion.
What are they keeping out with the
What's the mesh
rabbits?
for? What's the-
I don't know, I didn't ask.
ticks can't get through that mesh.
But I think what makes this, and we spoke about this the other day when we were on site for a different one. So I drove down Old Montauk Highway, and I understand what you're saying about how you don't want it to look like this gated community with tons of gates.
And
all
it's very
along.
close to the roadway.
Right, and I understand that. I think what distinguishes this property from some of the others that may have come before you previously is this is a pre-existing non-conforming commercial property that had 8 motel units on it. And historically, it's been a motel in Montauk. People are used to traveling down into that property. The motel has since been demolished, and now there are 2 single-family residences on that property. So it's a little different than just some of the existing single-family residences that everybody knows are private property. They've reduced the density from 8 to 2, and they really like to keep people out. They're concerned that it's.
A 4-foot gate would stop somebody from driving
Just as
in.
much as.
And as long as I've been living out there and living in town and on that road back and forth, I didn't even think that was an old
Yeah, it was
motel
Berkliff
property.
by the sea, yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's now the Cube House. So, I'm reluctant to approve anything over 4 feet on Old Montauk Highway going forward.
How do you feel about
I
that?
think a 4-foot gate will keep anybody from driving into their property. And it's right on the roadway. Here you can see the road right here. It's like right there.
How far back is it?
20 feet from the.
It is
Or it's
20,
28, I think, from the road.
Oh, that's good.
But that's
Good.
because of the area of the state road.
Right. on the
That's
edge of
why it's
pavement.
far back. It's not far back because it's their property and they decided to go far 20 feet from the road. It's because there's a section of
There's
state
an
road,
easement.
an easement that would
Yeah,
create
there's a
that.
large shoulder, yeah.
Right.
It's 28 and a half feet from the edge of pavement.
So if you'd like me to make a motion, I would like to, I'd be happy.
Well, we don't even need a motion if it's going to be at 4
Right,
feet.
right.
I'd like to go back and talk to them about it. Maybe we can redesign it.
Happy to table it.
and-
Happy to table it, and we're suggesting that the mesh go away.
Yes,
And if they
understood.
even wanted to do that design at 4 feet, that's fine, but,
Right.
if they want the mesh at 4 feet, they can have the mesh.
Okay, I understand your perspective.
4 feet, they don't need to come.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Anything else
Okay.
you have on?
So we're going to table this, correct,
Yes,
Tara?
correct.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
What else do you have?
I have Dos Gatos, and it is on page
Got it.
5, second to last one.
Joe Status, care of
Is
Anthony
this the
Michaels.
C of O?
Paul Russo,
And we're
yes.
okay doing that? Jumping ahead?
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me just give this to Derek.
Tax map number 300-49-4-45 for consideration of the certificate of occupancy.
Okay. I was out at the property, and there was a few little hiccups, but one was corrected. This was for, hold on, let me just get my, because I'm in order of the, there we go. A new building that was built on 71 South Elmwood. Okay. The new tenant for the building had painted the back door blue, but it is now repainted. And this is the facade that we looked at. So I need some clarification on the existing awnings that weren't approved. Is that part of this? Does this affect the C of O for the?
Is it on the application?
No, it's a all right, the application is to approve certificate of occupancy for the owner of the building, who built the building per our approval. So it's ready for a C of O. However, one of the tenants last meeting came before us for signage. We approved the wooden signs, we did not approve the awnings, but the awnings are there.
Right, I reviewed that on the tape.
So can I approve the building even though the awnings should really come back to us for change to commercial? And
Well, first of all, I think with the awning signage, you're going to be over 20 square feet.
no, that
That's
we
not
know
this
that
application,
that's
though.
not part of the application. My
I'm not-
question
I
I
is,
don't
understand
represent
that.
them.
we
So,
discussed this at the last meeting.
I
Well, I
reviewed
can-
that.
I can tell you because I'm obviously back
Familiar.
here tonight, but Nancy Lynn was,
Mhm.
had some background here, so she came to the pre-meeting and she kind of caught me up with her opinion, so I'm
Okay,
going to
please
agree
do.
with her
Mhm.
opinion because she did more of the research than I
Okay.
did, which was basically her feeling is the CO that they're looking for, confirming that they built in compliance with the approval is okay to
Okay.
move forward as the landlord's CO. Whether we put in the letter to the building department an asterisk that says that this CO is for the owner, the property owner.
Right.
It does not include
The signage
awning
or the
and the
awnings.
signage, which is currently in front of the ARB under the tenant's application.
Okay.
And
I
that
have
she
no
was
problem with
comfortable with
Okay,
that.
I just wanted to make sure that we could go forward and do
Great.
that. Okay,
So make a
so I'd
motion
like
to
to,
that
Just so you know,
Uh-huh.
I had a lengthy conversation with the property owner about it, and he has had lengthy conversations with the tenants about it, and should be coming back before you
Okay.
shortly to fix that.
Great,
Okay,
okay,
great.
so I have no problem with this. So go ahead and make it.
absolutely, right, okay. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve this, no, I'd like to instruct staff that to notify the building department that this is ready for certificate of occupancy for the owner of the building.
And specific to the building and not to the signage or awning.
Right.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Great,
That-
thank you very much.
Good.
That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tara.
Thank you, Betsy.
What was this one again?
This was Dos Gatos.
Dos Gatos. So, Derek, I'm going to hold on to this for when it comes back, so it doesn't end up in this file, and then I don't have to,
Don't
re-photograph
have
it.
to hunt for it.
Great.
Sorry. I want to take this also, that has the communication from Nancy Lynn, that just goes over it. Will help
I'm
you
sorry?
I'm just telling Derek so that he has the language from Nancy Lynn.
Okay, I just want to confirm, we're all done with business signs.
No, we have one more, Dayton Voorhees. After Green Voorhees.
Sure. For Dayton, Voorhees, and Balsam, tax map number 300-188-1-14, and you are?
My name is John Huber. I am an attorney with the firm of Dayton Voorhees and Brooks.
Great.
Good evening, everyone.
Diane,
Yes. This first application is to replace the existing sign, which is this, with a new sign, which is virtually identical except the names have changed.
Yes, correct.
And now, but I'm not clear, does this remain?
Yes, that will remain.
That does remain.
Yes, and that is A or B approved, so the only
already
change
approved.
would be a replacement in kind of the law firm
Of the
sign.
law firm
The
sign.
coloration would be slightly different as depicted in correct.
Yeah. So I think that there's no question. I make a motion that we approve the application for the
And I
replacement of
probably,
the
just
sign.
as a matter of diligence, I will bring to the board's attention, we wanted to install some landscape accent lighting at the base of the sign. That does not.
pointing upward?
Diagonally, yes.
No.
Is it this?
Dark sky compliant, pointing down. And what's that?
I'm
Oh,
asking,
no.
is this one?
That is it, and I attached, as part of that exhibit, there is a hood that we can attach. There are two options, a medium or a long, and that would abate the lighting, make it dark
Would
sky.
either, it would make it dark sky.
Yes, sir.
compliant, And you would state to that, and it does state that on the tear sheet?
Yes, it does. That's why I attached the spec, and the board can select either one. You want the medium hood or the slightly longer one, and we could circle it and initial it, and that would...
Which would emit less light pointing upward?
The slightly longer one.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the longer hood would give more of a dark sky.
I presume, Diane, you'd like to select the longer of the two?
Yes, the longer. Right, it would be that.
Yes.
All right.
Excellent.
If you'd read that into the record as well?
Yes, so I make a motion that we accept this application as presented, and with the modification that the long hood is added to the lighting to make it dark sky compliant.
We have a second?
Could you show me where it says it's dark sky compliant?
Thank you, Peter.
Well, the hood itself is...
No, that's not what I asked you.
It says it is dark
I
sky
understand.
compliant.
This specification does not expressly
You
state.
just said yes
will
when I
not
asked you the
approve
question.
it until it is, because I don't believe that putting the hood on it makes it dark sky compliant.
I've never heard of that either, and
Right.
that's why when you committed yes to it, I believed you. So that's
I
annoying.
wasn't attempting to misrepresent. I have the guidelines, the town's dark sky compliant
You
guidelines.
stated that that was.
I understand.
Okay, let's-
I don't
let's
want to
just
be
move past it.
argumentative.
The lighting is denied.
Okay, very well.
If you restate your motion, please.
So, we make a motion to accept the signage replacement as submitted, but the lighting, with the new specification of the lighting is denied.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Peter, thank you very much. Do you have anything else?
Yes, I have associated with this is
Same
a
building.
gate and planting boxes at the rear.
Yes, under fences, walls, and berms. Tax map number 300-188-1-14, Diane?
Yes. Now, this is quite elaborate, I would say. We are replacing these very unattractive big posts. You can't see it on this picture, but there is a chain that could go across these posts, but it's all rusted. Looks like it was never used much. But anyway, so you're talking about taking these posts away.
If I may clarify, not to interrupt, the posts would remain.
They would remain. Why?
Because
Oh,
they would
they
support
support
the
this-
proposed gate.
And what would happen to the two where you're going to put those dozen planters?
If the board desires, we could remove those.
All right, so, now in this, area, now, we're
This is a
talking about
parking lot
building.
behind the building.
Correct.
Yeah, this is a parking lot behind a building that is sort of a French, pale green French chateau, and this is the proposed gate, which is very industrial, very sort of heavy-handed, I think. And with, so that would mask this first opening, and then the second opening, they're suggesting a dozen of these large 25 2-foot square cement square planters that would basically, you can see them on on the survey, that would make a total, like a wall.
So basically, the parking lot, right, you enter and it goes around where you could exit, but they're closing off the exit.
They're totally
So
closing it
that
off.
you can get in with the big gate, and then you have to exit out of the big gate.
This is Carissa's?
And this is the, yes, this is the new Carissa. So this basically, I assume this is happening in order to stop any use of your parking lot.
There are some reasons. This is a thriving law practice. Lots of real estate closings, and it's important that we be able to use the spaces that exist for our office business. When this is operational, there's a strong likelihood that people patronizing this and the adjacent establishments will park in here, and we're trying to minimize that.
Even on the weekends and
Well, on the
at night?
weekend, this gate would be closed, because this is a private parking.
Yeah, I understand that, I understand.
And so this gate would be closed.
And these are the planters?
Correct. And if maybe this is, they're just adjacent, a few doors down, is an establishment that has these kinds of planters there that
Yes,
exist.
filled with flowers, I must say. It's quite,
Peter, or Richard, you might remember they did those, what are those called that go down into the ground?
Bollards.
Bollards? Why wouldn't you do something like that as opposed to this
and this
gate that looks like it's going
no,
into a
this is the
penitentiary?
neighboring, I mean,
Right,
it'd
yes.
be very
And
nice
we would
if
do
you-
similar plantings in the boxes that we're
Well,
proposing.
I mean, they have to be highly maintained. Now, on this property, where you're proposing this industrial-looking thing, near to the house, you have these railings.
Yes.
That are sort of copper-colored, softer. They
More
seem to
aesthetic.
blend more with the whole mood of the place. You don't feel that something more in keeping with this kind of feeling would be?
If you believe that that makes you more comfortable, we can agree to have them matching color to this and have a consistent color theme.
Well, that would be an improvement, because this is
Diane, I think
very
it's a
hot.
very good presentation. I appreciate that the aesthetic is that important. The area that we're talking about has been vastly improved, and truly this piping is not in keeping with the quality of what Dayton represents either, and what your building is. I think you could come up with a far better proposal than the way that you're trying to block this off. I can appreciate your need to do it, but there's got to be a better aesthetic that's attached to this.
I also think the swing gate, right, it doesn't work.
Yeah, this could be very difficult to maneuver.
May I
You-
address?
You can't get out, right?
This is
Of
going to
this
be like a
lane.
wall.
This one here, right, assuming that this gate is open, right, during the business hours, that gate, that parking is lost.
May I respond?
Please.
Because it was important that I be able to give you sort of well-reasoned explanation for it. This is a double-section gate to swing, so when this one opens, it's up against the island,
Right.
and when this one swings around, it's up against this. We considered possibly a sliding gate similar to the adjacent property.
Yeah.
But in that situation, in inclement weather, heavy snow, the snow piling up here is going to interfere with that
Well, it's going to
gate.
interfere with the other also. Yeah,
No more than the swing is.
right. That doesn't fly.
Is there any,
Try another one.
Well, Esperanza brought up
I
a
just-
point, go ahead.
I just wondered, Is there any, isn't that like an alley in the back that
It is.
connects everything?
Yes,
And are you blocking that
No,
off?
not at all.
I'm-
On the
I
sur-
can't visualize it, I'm sorry.
Of course,
sort
no,
of-
no.
it's
I'm
going
just
into
wondering
their
as far as like
parking
Here's the
lot.
fire
survey.
lane or any of that.
Here's the survey, this is that sort of access area,
I
and
see.
these gates would swing into our lot.
And the
this is all
fire,
your-
the fire
this is all
department doesn't
our-
have to get in the back
They
there.
don't need to get in the back?
How would they get
There's
in?
no connection
emergency?
through here?
Yes, there's a,
Yeah, there is a
this is
road.
access this way, so there's two accesses into this complex here.
But if you're in the parking, you have to go in and out there,
Only one way.
right? Because you block this one, right?
Yes, if the
Right.
planters are here, this
You have to go in
access
and turn around and go out. I'm just gonna make one point about the existing poles that are there. They are rusted, they're tilted, they must be like in the
Yeah, they're
ground with
very
some kind of cement. Regardless of what you're gonna put there, they need to go.
You need to
Or at
do
least be repaired.
They need to be replaced.
This is the sign. I have somewhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I may address that, so these posts that are existing,
No, here they are. Here they are. They're, you know, they're uneven.
sure, so
They're very-
the planter box is assuming that we can obtain approval, we would remove these, and then it's a matter of just tidying these up so that they're aesthetically satisfactory.
Well, all right, whatever.
Well, if you are going to consider softening the color of this gate or changing
You would
it,
need different materials.
yeah,
Well, this is piping, so it's just heavier gauge. It's heavier gauge, but now first,
It was a recommendation. It was John, it was a
This is not gonna
recommendation.
fly. So why don't you rethink it? Peter's comments are excellent. Diane is right on target. So if you've absorbed all of their suggestions, come back to us, we'll table this into the next meeting.
Something that works better with the aesthetics of the building and the area.
okay, so to focus on it, are the planters something that,
I think you have to deal with it
It's a
as a
package.
whole.
Yeah, it's-
And I don't understand, right, having the planters and this, is it to keep people from just using the parking?
And do you push them in? Are they automatic? Are they hand moved?
the first people in the office in the morning
Have to unlock it.
would open the gate. And it would be secure.
Why wouldn't you
then
have
they
a
would
gate,
remain
just
open?
one gate
well,
across?
that's a common driveway.
Well,
This
this
is
is
a common,
Yes.
It's not a common driveway.
It's an access easement for...
For what?
For these, this
For Carissa.
parcel.
No, for all three of the buildings.
Right, for all of them.
Right.
That's correct.
So this is a
Trucks to
shared
go in and out.
drive.
This is a
Yeah,
shared
we
road.
can't obstruct this.
No.
So we're also back off the street. This is only 4 feet high.
We understand that. Did you hear what both of them said? I mean, there's
Everything.
suggestions.
I
that are
listened
good.
to every
The other,
word.
the other thing to consider, if the gates are gonna open up during the day, how are you gonna stop somebody else from driving in there and
Exactly.
parking during the day?
That was my question.
I understand. Well,
So I
it's
think you really need to rethink this whole thing.
understood.
Okay.
Can I
We're gonna-
also make one more point? I think you might be getting into a site plan issue, perhaps, with permanently closing one of the two exits. So you might need to modify your site plan approval if you wanted to move ahead with permanently closing that one side.
Okay.
So before you come down this road with ARB, they may be able to, you may be able to agree on something that they would approve aesthetically, but that doesn't automatically get you the planning board's approval.
Sure, I understand. I thought maybe the dynamic would be, in the event that's the case that ultimately we do, then at least we have the ARB comments in the file.
Okay.
So we've tried to approach this from multiple.
And one
But
more
I understand.
comment. I mean, you know, this is going to add a heaviness. I mean, this is across the street, this is the motel, which is very open and green, and there's no signs of gates. This is the property, the firm next door to them. So it's really
I think
imposing a different,
I think what you're saying is, it's the wrong attitude.
I understand. Of course.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So this has been tabled.
That's your survey.
Now I'm correct that signs, whatever it may
We're
be.
moving along, we're on page 4.
Got it.
Don't say it.
No, I think it's, oh, it's 9 o'clock already.
It's 8.
Oh, was it 8?
That's it, 2 hours. I guess I was wrong, Peter.
I set my clock.
You're the eternal optimist.
So it's 5 to 8?
Yes.
For changes to commercial for the Johnson Caravan against Square LLC, tax map number 300-172-12-1. Anybody here for the applicant? Peter?
This is a modification that has been requested for the property in the Amagansett Square, which we had previously reviewed and approved. It turns out that the glass window, which they had requested as being 12-foot wide, right? They can't make a piece of glass that big without having a steel transom above it to handle the smaller subdividing pieces.
Does that face into the courtyard, into the square?
No, it doesn't. It faces into the walkway
Okay.
that goes into it. It's on the side of the building, not the
With,
face of the building.
And what's
Like a
there
dozen
now?
lights above it,
They're
right?
reducing, they would like to reduce that so they will not have to put the steel transom above it to 10 feet. And I don't see a problem with it.
And reducing the number of lights above it proportionally also?
No lights.
No, the little square
The
lights.
transom
Right.
pieces above it.
So there are 6 now, and how many were there on it? So there were, oh, sorry. 1, 2,
Rather
3,
than-
4, 5,
rather
6,
than
7, 8,
4.
9, 10, 11, 12. So you're going down to 10?
Yes.
Perfect.
That's actually what they're proposing. What
12.
they had is 12.
Right.
Now it's down to 10 feet. It was 12
You
feet.
want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept this modification as submitted.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ready? For Atlantic Bluff Club, Land Planning Services, tax map number
Lori.
300-71-2-12.4. You are.
Lori Wiltshire for Land Planning Services.
And,
Charles Ferrazza from Bodas Ferrazza Architects.
wonderful.
And
And, we need that for the file.
It's all yours. I'll help you carry it.
Okay, so,
Hold on. That's it.
oh, sorry.
Sorry.
This is a modification to a approved change to commercial at Atlantic Bluff, which is 707 Old Montauk Highway. And the plans originally, there were, I think, we figured out last meeting, approximately 8 louvered screenings that are going to go in front of some of the exterior staircases. And what we originally approved was a horizontal louver, because most of the boarding and the siding is all on a horizontal. And they came back to us to ask for a modification, and they wanted to do a trellis type as opposed to the vertical. I was disappointed because I thought aesthetically the vertical panels really worked and had a more of a modern feeling to what they were trying to do with the exterior, the new change to commercial on the exterior, and that I thought this was a little on the hokey side and that there'd be a lot of things going on. So when Hope was here at the last meeting, she was going to go back. This was something that was submitted.
Right.
Right.
So basically, that was the existing that was there prior to the
Right,
exterior
right,
renovation?
and so now they're, so my question is this looks very large and bulky and expensive, and why are we going
This-
from one to the other?
This is what we presented to the 57 or 56 homeowners, and they want...
Before or after we
No, no.
approved it?
That's what they wanted originally, but they all decided they want this back. This is what they had, and they want what they had back.
So basically, it isn't even a change.
It's basically what was there for, how was it, 30, 40 years
Yeah.
before that? I mean,
Yeah.
this is what was up before. We're not looking to, you know,
So they originally approved this, we
Originally had it
approved it, you guys go forward with construction, and then they have a
decided they
meeting
changed
and
their
they...
mind. Exactly.
Okay.
So we have that issue. We have another issue that's come up as well, that we need to make as part of this application, and there's also a modification.
Is that on your letter?
No, I'm gonna put it into, I'm gonna write it on your.
Well, why don't we deal with this
Oh,
first?
okay, all right. So the other thing to know about this aspect is that there is a very large privet hedge along the entire front of this facility.
Right,
So the only
facing
people
Old
that are,
Montauk Highway.
the only people that are gonna be impacted by the trellis are the owners, and this is what they want.
Right, so that was my question to Hope also too, and we couldn't really figure that out. From the road heading east or west, or if you're standing, you know, on the sidewalk looking in, did you see any of these
Not really.
louver panels?
No,
And
not-
she didn't think so, and she was gonna find out, so you're saying no, they're not?
Well, not really. I'm not going to say definitely no. I mean, if you stand there and stare, obviously you're going to see something through the
Right.
edges, but... I mean,
Driving
it's-
by.
Yeah, but you're already...
Richard,
No problem.
to change it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I'd like to make a motion then to accept the changed application for the
Lattice.
lattice.
But you have a second part.
The second
and a
part of this, very
modification.
simple one,
So
actually.
can we just hold that a second?
Hold that a second.
Let's see
So,
what you have.
I would rather have two
we ought to
different
vote on that.
modifications.
Well, you want it-
Modifications.
Well, I wanna
I
write
would
it
like
on.
to vote on this.
Okay.
Okay, can we do that on one application?
But it's not on here. This is, she's
No,
adding
right,
this
right,
on
right. No,
now.
no, no, I understand. That's why I'm saying, do we need a new application if she's going to add? All right, let's do this. As presented, correct? That's your motion?
Yes.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Nay.
I'm going to
Okay.
say nay to, well, no, I'm not, because the owners want it.
Right, okay, so we have,
And you're not going to see it, so, I don't know.
let's take an
And I
individual,
respect that.
let's take an individual vote. Esperanza?
Individual vote for the trellis?
Yes.
I'm going to say yes, only because they want it. It's not,
I just need a yes or
Yes.
no? Okay.
Yes.
Betsy?
Yes.
Diane?
I wasn't here, I abstained.
Fine. Peter?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Carries.
Done.
Okay, now.
Can we get
you
a
have-
second? Do we need a second on that? Oh, we,
We did already.
Okay, all right,
seconded
okay.
it, yeah.
What's your proposal? So
This
let's
is
walk
really,
tenderly on
it's
this.
really simple. But the building inspector, when she was out doing an inspection of the work that's been done, noticed that the stairs to the pool had changed their shape slightly and pointed out that the railings did not meet code. So we are proposing to simply legalize the rebuilt stairs and their railings.
Jameson, you got a problem there. You need an application on it.
I think tonight we've allowed a couple of applicants to add to their applications on the spot, so if
Okay,
she
that's why I
writes-
didn't want to close this motion.
I think that,
well, we
It's
didn't
okay.
close it. We just voted on,
one aspect of
we
it.
just voted on the trellis, that's all.
One
We didn't
aspect,
close it.
yeah. So I could just write this on the actual application.
Well, you don't have an application, you have a letter
A
for
letter,
the
okay.
modification.
Yeah, well, it is still a modification, because it was an
Right.
existing thing you previously approved.
Can I have a say on this?
Because it's commercial, then yes. But
But
the look of it,
it is a,
Yeah, no, he's got a really good point.
What's his point?
Do
it's a-
do we
it's a
actually, is it under
stair,
our
and
purview?
it's a, by
A
code
pool,
requirement, building code requirement.
not us.
for
but the building, the code doesn't dictate the materials, the color, the design. It's the height, it's the width, unless I'm mistaken.
No, the building code will tell you.
Is it under
Area?
change to commercial?
Okay.
It's changed to commercial,
Going to a vote
same
on
as
the
our
aesthetic.
application was.
Not in this case.
Okay.
So, right, so let's,
So basically, the materials are going to be the same pressure-treated material that the steps are made of and that the existing railing is made of. Currently, there is,
And the height of it is?
I believe it's 42 inches, but the actual graspable rail will be at the proper code height so that they can grab onto it when they're descending down the stairs. But currently, there's like one 2x4 in the middle and the 2x6 at the top. So we're going to infill with 2x4s the rest of the way so that this way we meet code, so nobody falls through the handrail.
But it's not a fence, it's not
That's
a
correct.
gate.
That's correct.
It's a stairway. Doesn't
Okay.
come under our purview.
Okay, I disagree with that because,
And Dawn in the building department told us we had to do
That's
it.
correct.
right,
She
but
just told us.
when you consider change to commercial, you approved the entire application as presented when they came the first time.
And the
So now
survey.
she's modifying one aspect of it
Okay.
that she wants,
I-
so that when you
accept
come
that
in
as an
front,
answer.
when they come here for the CO, everything matches up with what is there.
Right. And the survey you have has these elongated
The
stairs.
original one.
Yes. No, not the original one. The survey has the new.
replacement, yeah.
Right.
Right, no, I understand.
So on this letter, I should write, and replace stairs and railings to
At the
pool.
pool.
Okay,
Okay, you're good with that?
okay.
I think that will help this project
Expedited through.
moving forward. You want everything.
And they don't need to go to building on that?
We do.
What's the material?
It's pressure treated, just like the rest of the material that's on the deck and stairs. And do we need to go to building?
We do. We will,
They
they exist.
You
so-
need to get Dawn's approval.
Well, what we'll do is, this is all wrapping up very quickly.
Yeah.
As soon as we have your resolution, and the owners are very concerned about being able to use their decks right now. So as soon as we have your resolution, we are going straight to the building department with a building permit application for the pool stairs and for the, well, actually, we're not going to apply for the lattice because we already applied for the vertical, so there's no change there. I'm
I'd
just
like
gonna-
to call for a 5-minute timeout if you turn the TV off, please. Can I see that, son?
You know, I'm going to take this opportunity to use the room downstairs.
Do that. I've changed the app and signed it.
Do you
That's
want to
great.
make,
Let them,
okay. I think using, since we've taken a break, right, doing the diagonal lattice is really a mistake.
We tried, but there's 56 people telling me one other way.
Yeah, I'm sure you did, because I don't think it's in keeping with the character that you've created. You've made this a modern building now, and the diagonal lattice, right, I think,
Tom can tell you, we
is-
tried.
yeah,
I can tell you what,
I'm sure you did.
Oh, we need to put this in.
are you interested in why they were
No.
concerned?
Lori,
Are you interested in why they?
so I have clarification, can you submit something in the writing?
I just wrote it on there.
Lattice
All right, what, let me see.
was on the vertical.
Because I have to do the resolution, I don't wanna, you
It's
know.
a privacy issue.
And replace existing pool stairs and railings.
Don't want everyone to be
And
able
this
to
is what it looks like.
see into each other's face.
All right?
And if it's on a vertical, so the owners in front can see.
So it was just a letter
I
requesting
would
a
have
mod.
done
It
them
would block.
horizontal.
No, I'm just making sure, because I have to do the resolution, so I don't wanna,
The,
like,
the proposal
Not
is
do it the
for
right way.
vertical.
Right.
And
So the
it would
modification is to
block
replace vertical
large
lattice
portion of
with
view
checkered lattice.
everyone
Well,
else.
diagonal lattice.
So
And to
through the
replace
crosses,
pool
they can still
stairs
see
and
light.
railing.
all right, this is a modification to already existing.
Exactly, and this
No
is the
one needs
resolution. It's in your
to-
file. Here's the res,
I
and here's the
couldn't
letter requesting a
explain.
mod. As long as they have it in their file. I mean, the reason we give them so many, or we only give them 2 or 3, but so each member can have them, yeah, before they get here. But they don't need all those copies of their files.
I thought they wanted the last.
Yeah, they do. We're gonna give that to Richard as an award. How are you, Diane?
I'm fine, thank you.
Turn the TV on.
this now?
Hold on.
No, what
Do we
we're
know if
going
we're
to
on?
do
Yeah, I think we're on.
is we're going to very carefully watch the language on this. We're going to rescind the existing motion and just telling you what will occur afterward, even though we haven't done it yet. We will then add the modification for the stairway onto this application, and then we will have a new vote. The existing vote presently is yes, 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 no, and abstain. So let us vote to overturn the existing motion, to reject the existing motion, and I will need a second for that.
Is there a reason why?
Rescind.
Yes,
We've,
because
This is just
explained it. Just
rescinding
explained it.
the.
All we're
first
doing
motion.
is adding
sorry, Eric.
Fine,
the modification.
okay.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now the problem that we have here on rescinding the motion is that you voted no on the original. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody's understanding that. So Betsy, if you would make a new motion and add the modification of the stairway to that, would be appreciated, if you so feel it. You must have a reason for wanting to have broken this into two in the first place.
Right, because if Peter wants to say no to what we first voted on, the one part of it, now if we are including both of them, you're gonna have two different votes anyway, so I don't understand, but whatever, it doesn't matter, let's just move this along. So, I'm making a motion to, approve the modification from the vertical stairwell louvers to the trellis design. And I am
Diagonal.
also, right, diagonal trellis design. I am also approving a modification to replace the existing pool stairs and railings as presented.
Adding a modification and approving.
Adding a modification and approving.
We have a second. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hold on one second.
Take an
We
individual
were
vote.
so close, but Diane, did you abstain in the last vote?
Okay, we're,
Oh, yeah, okay.
No,
okay,
you
so
can't
we're going
second
to take
it.
an individual vote.
Don't second it,
Okay.
Esperanza,
if you weren't here.
For what? For the overall,
for your motion as it is on the floor right now.
for both, for
For
the,
both.
for the pool
Correct.
and
And
the trellis?
the modification of it. Esperanza, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Betsy?
Yes.
Yes here. Diane?
I will still abstain.
No problem. Peter?
Abstain.
Fine. So it carries 3-0 with 2 abstentions. Okay, great.
Thank
you. Sure.
I'm also here for Inn at East Hampton, otherwise known as Hostway Inn or Journey or formerly Dutch Motel, whatever you want to call it.
All of the above.
That's just a CO sign off.
Oh, see.
Where is it? It's the very last thing on your agenda.
No, actually,
You sure you don't want to stay?
Okay, I have another one after that, so you're almost there.
Okay.
Inn at East Hampton, formerly Hostway, tax map number 300-166-6-3, Betsy.
492 Montauk Highway, this is for certificate of occupancy for the change to exterior. I visited the property, everything is in compliant with the resolution, and I'm going to instruct staff to notify the building department that this is ready for a certificate of occupancy.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. They did a nice job.
They really are doing a nice job. It's going to be a much improved facility when they're
Yeah.
done.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Right. Oh, wait, Lori, aren't you Gangsey? Oh,
Oh,
no,
yes.
that's comments to planning, that's not, that's,
You don't have to be here.
You don't have to be
Go
here.
We
ahead.
already voted on Gangsey.
right.
Yeah, but
But for
we have
some reason,
comments.
it came back to us for comments to planning, I don't know, so I wanted to ask Jameson what this was about.
I have no idea.
Well, I had a question on the
If you want me to
site
be
plan.
truthful.
So,
It came back to us
Somehow-
from planning for some reason.
Somehow, it ended up, I know what's going on here. So normally when you do a site plan application and ARB application, the planning board has their meeting and then routes it to you. They've somehow got to both of you at the same time. You voted first, the planning board's just had their meeting on it, and now they're sending it to you.
but you've already voted
Okay,
on it.
so how did we get it first and then second?
We got it simultaneously.
You got it simultaneously. So
And it was
somebody
for,
distributed it.
and it was for a deck and a, like a hot tub spa.
Right,
And the
yeah.
reason why it came in front of us is because it was in the resort area.
Yeah,
And we
correct.
approved it.
Yes, we
Okay.
did, yeah.
So now it's come back to us as comments to planning for some reason.
What comments did planning have?
I can read you the cover letter from the chairman of the planning board.
Is that March 21, 2019?
I have March 28th.
Okay, let me see if I have, go ahead. I have 21, March 21st.
Hold on, let me see if there's something else here. That, I have a copy of their site plan special permit evaluation that's dated March 21. Then there's a cover letter. It says, this is to Lori. East Hampton Town Planning Board reviewed your application at its March 27, 2019 meeting. Attached is a copy of the planning department's review of the information submitted for your application. The planning board had the following additional comments. The board is not inclined to relax the setbacks on the northerly side of the property. The project does not meet the criteria for minor site plan. A revised site plan should be submitted as outlined in the planning department memo.
But none of
Please
that
address the
affects,
issues
but none of
outlined.
that affects us, correct?
That's not the most recent review.
No.
No.
This is
So-
all I have.
So what happened is we went back and presented to them, and basically they said they're fine with it, but they haven't decided whether or not they're going to relax the setbacks until after we have a public hearing. So that's all, that was the
Oh, here, I
entire
have,
comment.
I have May 21st, I have May 17th.
That's
And
our
it, right, and it's with regards to the setbacks.
Mhm.
But that doesn't come under our purview, so I have no comments to planning.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Great.
Thanks, Lori.
Thanks. Good thing I stayed.
Does anyone else have any comments to planning? Just want to.
No comment.
Okay, the whole board, great. Just
For
double
Smart Store, care of David M. Kirst Esquire, tax map number 300-184-1-8.11. If you'd introduce yourself, please.
David Kirst, Hampton, Kirst and Cooley.
Great, thank you.
Here on behalf of the applicant.
Okay. This is a great concept.
I believe you guys have everything that you need. We provided samples the last time
We
you were
did,
here.
yeah. And what were the additional comments that are being requested at this time?
This is for final approval. We received our planning board approval. We provided a copy of that last week. The elevations did not change through planning.
So David, just to clarify, up until this point, because I have had a little lapse in coming to these meetings, has the board voted on anything yet?
No.
No.
No,
It's been presented, but what are the changes that have occurred that would bring you back again? Why did we request you to come back?
well, because we didn't have final approval from planning. We now have final approval from planning. I'm told to come back to you for final approval from ARB.
Right, so you've heard the entire project, but as presented, now you're looking for the board to vote on that.
Correct. Yes, it's still proposed.
You want to review the entire project?
Has the board reviewed this
We have.
at length?
Yes,
Are you
we've had-
familiar
Did
with?
you get a resolution?
I have the planning board resolution.
No, but did they get a resolution from us?
I don't think you made a motion
No,
yet
we
to
didn't. We
approve
never did.
anything.
Why?
No, it was,
Because it was going back to planning.
Oh, I see.
right, it was discussed at either the first or second meeting we were here that instead of undoing a motion, a approval that would get modified by planning,
I
I
see,
remember
so-
the
so,
prudent
yeah.
course would be to give comment, which was done. We made those changes, went to planning. Planning did not change any of the elevations or floor plans for purposes of ARB. Approved that last week. We submitted a copy of that approval.
I don't see any other
Here.
changes in here.
So if each board member is comfortable remembering this presentation to vote on it as it was presented, I would be
You'll
fine with
recall?
doing that. If anyone needed a refresher, that's up to you.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all very much.
Sure. David, again, it was a great project.
Thank you.
What is smart storage? It's storage. Storage, that's what I thought. Because with all the bay windows, bay doors.
Sorry? Absolutely, all yours. I believe I gave you everything, one more, yeah, everything. This is for Claire. That's the try-on. This is both of these. Same thing. And that was the rubber band for that. Yeah, just the thing. For fences, walls, and berms for Wayne Heiklin, tax map number 300-167-3-122. Anybody here? Thank you.
I'm here before you again.
Yes, you are. If you'd introduce yourself again.
Wayne Hampton.
Great, Peter.
owner of the property. I think I
Hold it,
learned.
hold it, hold it, hold it. Peter, if you'd read it into the record, please.
This is an application to deal with get a permit for an 8-foot deer fence in the front of the property.
Not in the front.
Okay?
I was here last time and learned
That's
that.
what the permit says. Failure to obtain permit for 8-foot deer fence.
That's correct. It's the front of the property that I was questioning.
Okay.
Last time I was here, I was told that I had, I guess illegally, had some fencing in the front, and I sent a updated application letter to you guys. And I have removed all fencing from the front scenic easement area. I've now removed any encroachments from the side that was next to my neighbor. And I've now given you a color-coded, at the suggestion of your attorney, statement of where the 8-foot fence now exists on my property line, which is outlined in pink. And I'm hoping, with my wife's lovely description, it says 8-foot fence along perimeter property, that you guys would approve my application for the deer fence in those pink areas. I think I sent you, everybody should have one of those if you wanted to look more closely.
What's the yellow one?
You drew that, or someone here actually drew that on this
I think
piece?
Nancy Lynn did.
Yeah, just to show what represents the back of the house versus the front. So it's just for information only.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the application as submitted. I've been out to see the site, and it is, right, the encroachments have been modified and is correct.
You have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
For AMR Shashak, tax map number 300-144-4-12.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you? If you'd introduce yourself, please.
I'm Marshall Shuck, the owner of 199 Fremont Harbor Road, East Hampton.
Great. Peter?
This is an interesting piece of property, as you well know. This is an application for an existing driveway gate, which you claim has been approved, but I'm not sure that we have approved it, but we'll go on, all right? And it's also back post fence behind tree on over 8 8 foot high, and a trellis arbor. This is an interesting piece of property in that it faces two streets. It's a corner lot, right? 3 Mile Harbor Road. I have some pictures, which you have also taken.
How high is the gate?
The gate is 4.5, 5 feet, right? Is a sliding gate, all right? We have a few problems, right? But let's start with this gate. The posts are not on your property. Posts are beyond your property. That's one thing. Two, the sliding gate, right, is only 8 feet from the roadbed, which means a car can't come in without blocking the driveway until the gate is open. That's two things. Three, the arbor, right, which is 8 foot high on the front of the property, is also not on your property.
Move it back 2 feet.
Also, you have the lamps on these pillars, which have to be removed.
Well, right, we're getting to that.
You're coming back.
The arbor is 7 foot 10 inches high. By code, it can't be more than 6 feet.
The height, the top.
The height.
6 feet high.
Yeah.
Because it faces the street?
Well, yes, it faces the street. So,
Arbor have to go down to 6 feet high.
yeah. I'm sorry you built all of this without,
I went to building department and I asked before and they said we don't need a permit for the stuff, that's what.
well, I'm sorry, right, that you got that information, but
No, they may not have needed a building department permit, but he needed ARB approval.
But they didn't tell
But
them that.
they-
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they would give them misinformation.
Yeah.
Right.
So, right, we have a problem with the gate, we have a problem with the arbor, and also, right, and I don't think it's part of our review, is the question of the pool enclosure. In that, right, 3 of the sides are enclosed, but the 4th side is not. The property next to it, right, is 4.5, 5 foot higher than
So it's
this
a retaining
property.
wall.
There is a retaining wall along this face.
I've been inspected for the pool before, previous inspector, and we got CO for it. And when I applied for paper around it, came done. She said I'm different than the previous inspector, even they give you CO. It's safety for the pool, and I'm not gonna consider the 4 foot and half retainer wall as a fence. Even you have 325 feet all around blocking that. I'm
Well,
not considering-
the problem is that the wall is not on your
I
property,
understand.
right? And I believe the code says that you need a 4 foot high fence. But it's not our responsibility. I think you have to deal with the building
Yeah, but
department.
she sent me here because her
No,
requirement
not
is
for that.
above
No,
8
no.
feet.
Peter's making a suggestion
Sure.
only to you, that he is advising you that you need to talk to the building department whether or not that retaining wall counts, because it's not on your property, as the fencing that's required to protect the pool.
No,
We
they-
can't
they-
answer that.
No, they need me to put fences. I talked to a couple of
Okay,
people.
Well, that's what he's saying.
And you
Yeah.
know where, they'll tell you where to put it.
They said right 4 inch from that retainer wall, you can put it because there's.
Well,
no-
that's what I had suggested also, Peter.
4 inch, but she sent me here because that requirement to be 4 feet above that concrete wall, the fence have to be 8 foot.
Oh,
and
no,
a half.
no, not above it, but in front of it was my suggestion.
Yeah, no, in front of it, to bring it that height she wants, 4
Yeah.
feet to block the neighborhood from coming in my side. That fence from ground up have to be more than 8 foot. That's why she sent me here.
Yeah.
She talked to.
Because of the
secretary
berm?
No,
It's
because
not
of
a
the
berm,
retaining wall.
it's actually a
Retaining
retaining wall.
That's the neighbor's property.
Right.
I see.
I
So
think-
they could jump
Yes.
from the retaining wall into the pool?
Correct.
Okay.
If you
So-
put a 4-foot fence next to that 4-foot wall, you could
So he's
walk
looking
right
for
over.
approval for us to do 8 feet, 4 feet, a fence on top of the,
Or just 8 feet next to it on his
Well, you
property.
can't put the 4-foot
On a berm.
Right,
fence
right,
on
right,
top
I-
of the wall.
right.
Because it's
Jameson
It has to
corrected me,
be on
right.
his property.
Right.
She want 8-foot fence and half to meet the code. From ground to that area she wanted, from the ground up, it's 8-foot and half to meet the 4 feet code, which
If
the neighborhood
you-
can come back.
If you pull that fence in, all right, away from this
From the
wall,
wall, yeah, that's what she said.
right, you can pull it in 10 feet. Then you only need to have a 4-foot fence,
I see.
right? Because you then can't get from that property over the
Right,
fence.
as long as you're enclosing the pool.
You
Doesn't
just
make
need
any
to
difference
enclose
where.
the pool.
I didn't understand from her because she said put me like square 1-inch
Right.
metal fence behind the tree and make it 8 feet.
You can do it in front of the tree,
In front of the tree.
right?
Or
Let's-
behind the tree, 8 feet too.
Let's deal with your gate.
Yes,
Right. What can we do there?
How did it ever get off your property?
It's,
The
yeah,
pillars.
down when she measured, she said they're getting 6-inch out of the property line from the concrete.
But you had a survey.
Yeah, that's what she said.
But this, the
This is
survey.
more than 6 inches.
I'm not sure the survey how the scale of it, but that's what Don told me, 6-inch, one of the pillar is more 6 inches than the other one.
I think you also need to find out from the surveyor what this easement is.
Like she sent me to, I think Mike or somebody from the highway department.
Yeah.
And he approved the apron, and he told her it's okay that the apron
No,
stuff. and
I
he gave
just
us a-
want to know what this easement is.
Okay.
What does it mean?
What does that mean? Because typically, you could not do the gate or the posts inside that easement.
It depends on what the document
Right.
says.
What this
An
easement
easement
is
can-
for.
So I have to get explanation from the surveyor what this easement for.
Yeah,
They must have surveyed that for a reason. They are relying on some
they
documents.
have it
that they
on the survey.
And we would have to, I would be more comfortable if I could review the document to see if it said that you could or couldn't build structures within the easement. It's not a scenic easement, it's a road easement, but I don't know what the document.
Is it on 3 Mile Harbor or on the other road?
No, it's on the side road.
What side road is it?
Both steer.
Boat Steer Court, AKA Livingston Street, is what it says on the survey.
It just says 5-foot wide road easement. And he's within that with the posts, right, and with the gate.
Okay, you need to deal with it. You need to find out the information.
About the easement.
Provide us some documentation. What would you like to do about the lighting on top of the pillars?
We have to take it out.
Mhm.
No
That-
lights on the pillars.
Unless you want to put it on the side of the pillars pointing downward.
Okay. Side of pillar and going down.
A dark sky
I see what
is what you're looking for. Like those that are on top exceed the height as well as the light emitted.
Side.
So they have to be removed.
Okay, I will do that.
And in terms of the fence, the pool fence, maybe bring your survey back to the building department and propose to them, ask them if you can move the fence much closer to the pool, off this wall, off this property line.
I will talk
And
to
see it, because if they say that there's a location that's compliant at 4 feet, and you can put that fence in,
Right.
then you're complying with your pool requirements, and you don't need ARB approval for a height, for a fence that's 4 feet.
Saves you a lot of grief.
So it saves you that
Sure.
aspect of
I
this
will ask them
approval.
for that.
Great.
And the trellis, she marked.
Down to 6 feet.
Down to 6 feet. It's
Yep.
been moved back inside the property. so
Inside the property.
Right.
It's inside now, but I will dig it more down to bring it down to
Great.
6 feet.
No, it's not inside now, it's.
Yeah, I removed
When did you,
like 3 weeks ago. Don told me she marked it down 2 feet inside, and I moved it 24 inch and a half inside the
Okay.
driveway.
All right.
Only I have to bring the height to maximum 6 foot.
So we'll table this for 2 weeks, have your materials back into us next week on the 20th.
Sure.
By
For
noon.
explanation for the easement,
Correct.
bring the trellis down to 6 feet, and talk to Don about the fence in 4 feet or 8
And
foot
talk to your
maximum.
surveyor and get us a document as to
About
what that
the-
easement
what that
means.
easement.
Great.
And you can also, I work a lot with
Remove the roof
Dawn.
light.
You could tell Dawn if she wants to call me, and I can
Sure.
help so that you can present to this board exactly what they're expecting, so we can keep moving.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
Appreciate your cooperation. It's difficult, we know, we understand.
A little leak for information about
Yeah, I need to going back and forth, and I hate to do that. Nicely done, Peter, thank you. For 105 Montauk Highway LLC, care of Britton Bistrian, tax map number 300-168-7-31. Good morning. Just introduce yourself if you would.
Britton Bistrian for owners 105 Montauk Highway LLC for a proposed driveway gate.
Esperanza.
Yes. How are you? So I took a little walk into the area, and let me show you the.
Just give me the.
Oh, sorry,
read it
yes.
into the record.
It is an application for a new driveway gate in English oak, maximum height 5 feet 4 inches, total length 16 feet, no finish.
Great.
Here's the location. So it's a flag lot off Montauk Highway. This is Montauk Highway. Here, you can visually you can see this gate from the highway. There's a home here,
And this is the gate existing?
and that's the proposed gate.
No, proposed.
There is currently
it's
just
not.
a mesh.
That particular gate is a real gate that was built. That gate is not on the property at 105 Montauk Highway.
What
So
is
it's not,
on-
nothing's existing here.
Did I send you?
But that's what they're looking to do.
Correct.
that's the gate you're proposing?
Yes. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't an existing gate.
Right, no, right now there's just mesh, like deer fencing. And I thought I sent you a picture, but I
So the height of the gate is 5'4"?
It actually, it looks like it was changed on the application.
5
because
feet
it was-
1?
It's 5'1".
And the post?
I just wasn't sure. I think, I added the 5'4" because I think the contractor was measuring to the cap and the little points go up, so I was allowing
Good.
3 inches of wiggle room.
Great. And
Just
the
so it didn't come back later.
posts are the same height, or are they higher as pictured?
higher here.
They're higher because the gate's only 4 feet tall.
Okay.
So
and
it's,
what's the
it
height
would
of
have been
posts
exempt
are,
from review
okay.
if they had wanted to take that 1 foot 4 inches.
Right. So what's the height of the post?
5 feet 4.
I think it's 5'4", yeah.
My question is, I measured the width, and you're saying 16 feet. I got like 12.
Right, well, I
So-
can't propose 12. So what they
Right.
have there now
So they're going to have to
doesn't meet
move
fire
all-
apparatus.
Right, so they have to move all that hedging and everything that's all
Yeah.
over there? Okay.
I mean, that's
just
not
wondered.
flexible, especially since
Yeah.
it's in Narragansett and that's
Right.
where I'm a fireman.
Right. No, I just wondered what was going to happen because it's fairly densely planted.
Yeah,
How do you feel about that? That's really interesting, and I respect you for that. We've had discussions with the fire marshal as to width. What are you looking for?
to be able to clearly drive through a
We
gate.
understand that, but we've been working with 14 feet and above. Are we really truly looking at 16 feet?
I did 16 feet outside post, because the dimension is outside post to outside post. 14 feet clear width is sufficient. But once you take into consideration a post, the
Right,
hanging,
right.
I was allowing a foot for each side and not to impinge on that 14
Right.
feet. I wanted a little bit of wiggle room.
Second part of my question, which is not relevant to
So
your
it's like a
application.
14-foot opening.
Clear 14 foot.
Second part is not relevant to the application. But when we're discussing distance off the roadway on a gate, we're usually looking at 20 feet. How do you feel about 20 feet?
I think 20 feet is reasonable because it makes it so that you can safely get out of the roadway. At the same time, lights and sirens, you're in the middle of the roadway.
Thank you for answering my questions.
Yeah.
As long as we
So
can
be
make
it.
a motion.
Can I just ask, I don't know if I can ask this, what is the purpose of the gate? Is there a home?
Just
back-
to,
Just-
there will be, there's currently,
I saw a building permit, but I.
right,
Okay.
there's a demo, this home is gone. It was just to have some sense of privacy and figure out next moves. And it is, I just want to point out, yes, you can see it from Montauk Highway, but when we were talking about 20 feet, it's 330 feet from Montauk
Yeah,
Highway.
no,
It's a
and
pretty,
it's really a 4-foot gate in a sense. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's pretty, it's not a huge impact visually, I don't think.
No, I have no issues with it. I move to approve the application as submitted.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay.
Do you have anything
My
else?
CO,
Do you want to do, can we do you have anything else other
Nope.
than Selrose?
just the CO on
You
it.
know, I just had a question. Is
Yep.
this it's a manual gate? It doesn't
Yeah.
have a numeric?
Yes, it just has, it just hung.
Good question.
Because that would be a consideration. It wasn't on the application.
Jameson, is it okay if I do another C of O?
Sure, which one?
Selrose.
Okay with Richard?
Yes. Okay, let me get to it.
Which one are you?
Second from the end.
For Cell Rose, care of Britain, Vistry, and tax map number 300-50-1-11.
This is before us for a certificate of occupancy for a resolution for a sign that was 7.8 square feet on the building, and also for change to commercial, which was for new windows and some doors, white windows, rose trellis, and painting the building white. And everything is to what we approved in the resolution. I'd like to instruct staff to notify the building department that this is ready for certificate of occupancy.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you.
Good, we're up to page 2.
Oh, stop.
That was a reality check, thank you.
For James Teetham, care of Madeline and John Esquire, Tarbett and Lester, tax map number 300-126-1-18.36.
Brian Lester for Tarbert and Lester.
I look like
132.
Matt. That's great. Okay, Peter.
This is a project which we have reviewed several times previously. Right. It's a gate and a fence, which they have asked for, driveway gate and fencing. I have a few problems.
Okay.
The gate has been cut down, but it's now 6'5" instead of 6 feet.
I understand from our last, and I don't know when did you go out there, I went again this morning, and there was between Monday and today, there was another, or yesterday, there was another reduction in it, so I'm not sure when you went out, but
I was there on Tuesday.
yeah, I think there might have been, if I could see your picture, I can determine whether it's first cutting or further
First
cutting.
cutting,
Yeah, there's been a slight reduction more from here. I have today's picture, only because I went out there on Tuesday and measured as well.
Right.
At the last meeting, we had talked about making the post the same height as the gate, and the gates are a little higher, and you guys approved that, or talked about approving it for the purposes of the swing. So I went out there and we did, the contractor cut down the posts a little bit more to make them even with the height. This is a picture I took today in the pouring rain. This today? Yeah, this is today in the rain. So it brought it down. It took up a little bit more of this upper trim, and
about the uplights?
The uplights are gone. If you can see them in that picture, they are gone.
No, I see them.
No, there's no lights there. We removed the lights. There's a closer view. Those lights have been,
So there's no lighting at all?
there's no lighting on those pillars. We
Okay.
removed the lights.
What about the fence, the deer fence, which now encloses 100% of the property?
We have 6-foot fencing that we're looking for approval on the front side of the property, and that's the approval we're seeking here. The back part of the property, part of that is only 6 foot, but we're seeking for the approval for the 6 foot in the front of the property.
I asked a question. Now, with what you're asking is 100% of the property is enclosed in deer fencing.
There's 6 foot in part of the back, which is permissible under the code, and we're looking for the 6 foot in the front.
And the sides?
No, but the
What's that?
entire
The
property.
side,
We typically do not encourage 100% of the property to be enclosed.
Can I see the survey, please?
I understand, but part of it is not, is compliant fencing in the.
We heard that.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking. Right? If we approve the 6 foot that you're requesting in the front, the property will now be 100% enclosed.
This is proposed.
Okay. What would you, how would you like to remediate that?
Well,
I guess this is
part of it is
higher,
not,
and they're saying they're gonna reduce it to 6.
part of this side is in compliance with the town code, so, the front part is what we're looking, that's not in compliance or needs your approval to go from 4 to 6.
Right. And it's at our discretion as to the amount
It
of
goes from,
property.
I'm sorry, it goes
can-
from 4 to 6? It's a 4-foot,
You would need approval, I need approval for 6 foot in
right,
the
and
front
it
side of the property.
existing is
Right now,
4?
it is
It's existing in front right now.
existing and is completely enclosed.
No,
But
but
I'm
what
going to
height
say-
is the front fence that he wants to change to 6 feet?
It's 6 right now.
He was saying if he goes from 4 to 6, he needs ARB's approval.
Right, so if he goes to 4, then he's not
Exactly.
100% enclosed.
But I'd like to say that I've been on this property because I had it for a few times. And it is it's a property that terraces, and it's very heavily wooded in the back. It's really a woods. I mean, and once the pool and once that area in there drops down, why does that have to be? I mean, it's like a woodland. Why does that have to be enclosed by a fence?
Right,
I
you're
mean,
saying
that's
you
what-
could bring the fence in,
Yeah, you could bring the fence right in, and you could open that woodland up to the world, to the nature.
Or not enclose the front at all.
Well, maybe that's where they have their plantings, and maybe they'd rather enclose
No, I
the
think
front.
the bulk of the planting is in the back.
Yeah, but after that pool terrace, and when it slopes down, it's a woods. It's a
either
beautiful
way.
woods.
There are neighboring fences that would cover that. Us moving in part of that fence, if you look at the survey there, that one side, there's a heavily fenced there. So we're not doing away with a fence that's not already present. Us moving our fence on that side, I still have another fence that runs the whole property line. So we're just creating another, well, but
The
it
6-foot
goes
fence
towards,
that you're asking for approval has already been installed. You're
yes.
asking
And-
for an approval, right, after the fact.
Yes, and we, our previous discussion, there was
We're
brought
not
that
going
eight,
to,
and we.
we're not going to
dropped
give it to you. We'd like to see you consider reducing the amount of fencing that's enclosing this property.
May I just, does the board agree with that? I just don't want him to say "we" if you haven't all.
No, I'm sorry.
I think that
agree
it-
with his
I think that
statement.
if we had a vote, we would all tend to be on the same page. We're asking for your cooperation to be able to, and I believe that either suggestion is good, whether it's Diane's to bring it in from the rear or Peter's to eliminate from the front, would be an ideal solution, so it's your call.
It's my client's call, so I'll speak to my client.
Then we're going to
Well, your
table
third
this?
option is you could cut it down to 4 feet.
Yes.
Right.
right,
That's
right. Right, that's
I
your third.
understand.
So we're going to table this into the next meeting, have your materials in by the 20th by noon, and we'll have you on the 27th.
And you're okay with the gate? This
Where
is all
The-
just,
the gate's fine, but it's all part of the
it's
project.
about the deer
I'll go
fencing.
out and verify.
Yes, good, yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
I was there today, after Tuesday, but I did look Tuesday.
And that the lights are gone
Suggested-
too, right,
Yeah, the
Peter?
lights have been removed, so.
Well, Brian, can I ask you, do you want them to approve the driveway gate?
No, Peter's going to go out and verify it.
But that would be at the CO stage, wouldn't it?
Not my picture. My picture has the lights were, I have a picture before today. They're
Isn't
not,
it easier just
they're
to
not
do the whole
lights, they're
thing at
just.
once?
well,
If he's cutting down the fence, though, then he wouldn't come back for the fence. That was
Yeah.
my only thought.
So if we could approve it, and like you said, C of O, we would have to
I don't
get the
think that the
approval.
board is
But
gonna-
the lights are gone. That's just a plastic piece.
Okay.
But the lights were removed, so. If we can vote on the gate and that way I don't have to come back if I get the approval.
Well, you're gonna have to come back
See,
to the
here,
fence
here's the,
anyway.
here was the light,
Right.
probably Tuesday, and now there is no fixture there.
Right, because if he doesn't come back, and he wants to do the 4 feet, how do we know that he cut it
Right,
from 6
exactly.
to 4?
Because you're,
Well, because you have to get the C of O approval and come back for my C of O
Okay.
approval.
I'm going to request we table this, and you come back to the next meeting.
But you have to bring everything in that you need next Thursday. No later than
Already instructed.
I understand. Okay,
All right,
Thank
thank
you very
you.
thank you.
For 8GAR LLC, tax map number 300-200-3-28. Thank you for being patient, we appreciate it. Oh, my gosh. And you are? And you are?
Melissa Dedovich, Peconic Environmental
Great,
Associates.
wonderful. This is for a driveway gate on a property that's been built. It's now wonderful.
Oh, thank
It really
you.
is.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, it is great. And all they want, is like, this driveway divides in two, and on the one side, on the left side is where they'll be putting, this is probably maybe 200 feet up the driveway itself.
369
Thank
feet.
you. Okay, thank you very much. You've also widened it into a major roadway too.
Well, it's
which is
reconstruction.
exciting. Okay.
How tall is that?
It actually was really kind of cool about it, an Ed Hollander design. And a similar, don't tell the client, but a similar gate was, he did so. But it's actually, the posts are 6 feet, but then it goes down to about 4 feet and 4 inches. It's really open, it's very
And
inviting.
there's no lighting.
No lighting.
There's no electronic pad or anything else. I'd like to make a motion to approve this as presented.
Oh, there is a box.
Oh,
There
okay.
is a box.
Where's the box? Is it?
It's
down-
on the survey. It's just, there's a box.
Show me on the survey, just because I don't remember where it was. When I took the pictures of
Call
it.
box right there.
Okay,
Yeah,
then,
there is a call box.
then that's what I took a picture of. Okay, that's great.
Just want to make sure.
Okay, my motion stands. I'd like to make a motion to approve this. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, I
Thank
can
you
make
very
it
much.
to watch the basketball game.
Hurry up.
You did great. You did great.
Yay. Thank you very much.
Sure enough.
Good night.
I watched it. What time is it? Yeah, it's afternoon.
You want to go home? You'd like to go home? You're moving me forward. All right, now, Richard Shilowich on land planning has been moved to a certificate of occupancy, so I'll review that at that time. For an extension of time for Patrick and Megan Robson, care of Michelle Hugo, AIA, tax map number 300-166-4-15. And you are?
Hi, I'm Patrick Robson.
Wonderful, Patrick. Diane?
Hi there, Patrick. I don't know why you need an extension of time. I assume, I mean, the fence is installed, and this has been since 2015. The fence is exactly 6 feet. The pillar is 6'7". So Did you know that, and that's why you need extra time to cut that pillar down, or?
That was never approved, right?
Right, no, the resolution is for a 6-foot high, 14-foot wide entry cedar wood gate.
Can you
And-
take that cap off?
Possibly, yeah. I think what happened was we got the approval. I hired East Hampton Fence, they installed it. I wasn't aware of the fact that I needed to come back and get a certificate of occupancy. So my understanding was I needed to get an extension to get the certificate of occupancy. But
Oh.
obviously,
Got it.
need to address the cap as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your resolution calls for 6 feet. How high is that cap?
It's not.
With the post with the cap is about 6'7".
And how tall is the cap? How high is the cap?
The cap itself, well, it's probably 5 inches.
Can that go?
I mean, if that's what the rule requires.
Well, with a couple of inches, I would sure give it to you, but at 6'7", I won't.
Is it,
But it's 6'2". I mean, if you just took that cap off and made it, I mean, it's pretty, the gate is quite flat, so I don't think it would.
you know, to attempt to argue my case, we took the same design that the neighbors have, and I recognize that the board is not interested in what the neighbors have. But architecturally, I think it adds some actually useful detail to have.
I can appreciate that. If
Well,
you
you
had
could have
done
the
that
cap,
at
it
5'8"
just-
and made it 6 feet, it would have been a lot easier.
If you cut the post down, you can then put the cap on the post, just as long
That-
as it's,
Precisely.
like 6
Yeah.
foot, 6'1".
Sure, can you do that?
I'm gonna have to.
You have steel
Personally,
inside,
no,
or?
but yes, I'm sure I can get someone to do it.
What's inside the post, you know?
I didn't build it, so I don't know. I hired East Hampton Fence, they built it for me.
Call Michael and ask him what's inside. He's got to have the plans on it, and if you can cut it down, as Betsy suggested, you can put the cap back on it.
That sounds
I
like
think,
And then it'll be at
I
6
think
feet.
what Richard is saying is you're going to have to cut it down.
Got it.
Right.
To about 6 feet.
Yeah, that's good, a little.
Well, for you to,
I mean, the gate itself is exactly 6 feet, exactly.
for you to get this on a certificate of occupancy, it has to comply with your approval. So you have to make it comply with that approval. If you don't want to comply with that approval, I would suggest not asking for an extension of time and bringing this in as a new application, and maybe the board would approve it as it's built, but it's,
Well, how can we approve it if it's 6'7"?
I don't know where it's located. Is it in the front yard?
Yes, it's right on
So
the
then you
road.
can't, so then they can't approve it. I don't have anything but
Oh,
the
okay.
cover letter.
So procedurally, what should I do? Should I?
What is it?
Procedurally, I think it's
You've
mechanical.
you've asked for an extension of time.
Right.
We'll vote on that. I assume we will
Grant
give you that.
the extension
I
of time.
suggest you contact whoever built it, right, and ask them to get it down to 6 feet.
So that you can get your CFO.
Got it.
And
Okay,
then-
so I
and
don't
then-
have to, if I cut it down, I can then come back and ask for the CFO. I don't have to ask for it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That was-
So,
You don't need it.
Diane, would you like to make a motion on this
Yes, I'm
extension?
making a motion that we approve the extension of time.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you're in good shape.
Great,
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Question is, did I do the CFO for Frischberg? Okay, I'm sorry that I didn't. Okay, for Michael Frischberg, tax map number 300-197-8-11, which we've already previously reviewed. I'd like to instruct staff to
Advise the building department.
thank you very much to advise the building department that this is ready for certificate of occupancy.
How many
Thank you very
years?
much.
How many years have you been saying
What
that?
time is it? What day is it? We have a second?
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, Betsy, appreciate that. Okay, I'll help you out sometime too. For Bradley Langston, at tax map number 300-134-1-16.1. Betsy, your turn.
110, 2 holes of water. It was a 6-foot gate and some 8-foot deer fencing. Per the resolution, I visited the property. It is ready for a certificate of occupancy, so I'm advising staff to do so.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. For John Jacamias, Meyerowitz, Tax map number 300-166-8-6, Peter?
This is back to us again, right? We denied this certificate of occupancy last time because the uplights at the posts were not removed. I went out and visited it again. The uplights are still there. This is not ready for a certificate of occupancy because the uplights at the posts remain.
Fine. We have to take a vote on that, Jameson, or just let it? You want to deny it or just make comment on it?
Depends if you want to give the applicant the opportunity to come back under the same application.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, so let's table this.
We will table it.
Maybe Derek, you can contact the applicant.
Excellent.
We're giving them a courtesy here.
For Robert Shapiro, care of Due East Planning.
Yeah.
Sorry. For Susan Brierly, 6 Bay Inlet, tax map number 300-23-01-18. Peter?
6 Bay Inlet Road, I've been out, visited the site. It has been done as per the resolution, which was dated, whatever.
September 13th, 2018.
Yeah, December 13th, 2018. I'd like to make a recommendation that the staff contact building department. This is ready for a certificate of occupancy.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excuse me for 1 second. Yeah. Derek, can you add that to that file for 105 Montauk Highway, the one that Brittany was?
Quincy Davis has been postponed for Sue and Sudette Varma, tax map number 300-133-1-24.1. I've been out to the property. I've viewed the fencing. They added the 4 feet to the 4-foot existing fence. I'd like to advise staff that this is ready for a certificate of occupancy. Tell the building department this is ready for a certificate of occupancy. We have a second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. For Morty's Oyster Stand, tax map number 300-110-1-10, Esperanza.
So I have been out to the property earlier this week, and they, one observation or one note, which when I was there, the awnings were not matching with the resolution, so.
That was a clerical error, and I have
We've revised the resolution.
Right here.
Right, okay. So I just want to make sure that that's
Good.
on
Are we
record.
signing the resolution tonight?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So do I have to read all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. As far as I could see, everything was as stated in the application.
Or in the resolution.
In the resolution, rather. And forgive me, but the signage was on this resolution? I couldn't find it. It was? So there's no sign yet. That's the only thing.
That's interesting.
It hasn't arrived yet. I
there's
couldn't
a
find it. I
resolution
looked
focus
and
on it.
looked at this. I'm sorry.
Okay, Jameson, that's an interesting point because in
I
the
see.
past, when we don't have a complete resolution, we can't approve what's
Not ready.
existing without the final works being done.
And
Because it
I
was all
wasn't
one
here
part of
for
one
the, yeah, and I
resolution.
wasn't here for the signage meeting, so I'm not even aware of the whole.
It's on the resolution that you're looking at.
Yes, it is.
Then
Well, it says
this
the
has to be
sign will be
tabled.
located inside of the property
But
line,
it
as
also
indicated on the
talks
approved
about
survey.
all the signage too. Like it gives all the dimensions and so it
Yeah.
is, the sign is
Let's-
part of the resolution.
Let's table this for the next meeting, giving them the opportunity to complete the resolution and you to inspect it.
Yeah, okay, good, because I did speak with them today, and I said, did the sign arrive? Because they said it was supposed to be arriving, and he said, no.
It's on the
It's
truck.
on the way.
Right,
So-
the proper way to do this is for
To
you
tape.
to be able to go out and make sure that
Really make sure.
everything that
Correct.
this board approved is as it was approved.
Okay,
We don't want to prematurely say that it's ready for a CO and then someone drives by and really the sign is not what was approved.
so
Right.
they have to wait
Or in
another
the
2
wrong
weeks?
place.
Right, so we table it for the sign, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Completion of the
And
resolution.
you should, are these all for that?
yeah, take a look. I do also want to make another note, and I don't know if this is important or not, but they were replacing the stockade fencing all along the perimeter of the parking lot.
Right, they didn't do that?
Well, they did replace it, but they replaced it with stockade fencing. And it says 4-inch mahogany fence, 5/4 inch by 4-inch mahogany fencing. Right?
Meaning
Not that one.
So is it, but is it stockade fence?
Here, where's the parking lot picture you just passed? It was the only other thing that you passed it this one, sorry.
And then, this isn't finished, so they couldn't get a C of O anyway when they're still under construction.
So that was the other thing I noticed.
Wait, what
Is
did
that-
we approve? I'm sorry?
Replacing stockade fencing around the west-northeast perimeter of the property with 6-foot-high, 5/4 inch by 4-inch mahogany fencing.
I remember that.
And this is stockade.
Yeah.
And so meaning that it was supposed to be what matched
Like-
the other, like this?
Yes,
So it's not to what we approved?
right.
But
And
they might want to modify that, I don't think that's
I think they overpriced, they didn't realize
how
how.
expensive
Probably.
that is.
Correct, and so I understand that, but I wanted to point it out,
Right.
and
No, no, no. it's
they
really
have to
important.
then,
No, that would be a
They'd
reason
have to
why
make a
modification to the
we would
resolution.
Modify the resolution.
So we're still going to table it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's tabled, and they're going to have to bring in a modification for the change on the rear-facing stockade fence.
one more thing.
Yes, no, no, good, 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 good.
Keep
Um,
going.
Remember the Dutch door?
Yes.
It's not a Dutch door. It's just a pass-through.
So that has to be part of the modification also.
You got it.
Okay.
Very good.
And then other than that, the portholes were being put in that day. He sent me, I spoke with the guy, and he sent me a picture. I'll send it to you of what they look like, but I'll go back out there anyway. Otherwise,
It's not ready for a C
it's
of
not
O.
ready.
And check it for lighting also.
Any additional lighting apart from the
Yeah,
goosenecks?
Just be
So it's
curious.
a pass-through window, not a door. Okay.
Correct,
So,
yeah.
Derek,
Yes.
when you contact them, you can advise them that they can either seek a modification of this resolution, that the board consider what's built there currently, or they can bring the property into compliance with this resolution as it was approved. They have an option.
Right.
Right.
Because I don't think we're opposed to the pass-through window versus a
Yeah.
door, and we're not opposed to the stockade fence in
Okay.
the back.
And
It's-
since the board's
it's up to
indicating that
them.
also on the record, you can tell them that as well.
Right, good.
They could come in for the modification and then the CO on the same night,
If they have a sign.
if
If the
everything
sign
else
is
is
there.
ready, that we've done
And,
it.
and they're still under construction.
Okay.
Where is the sign thing?
Okay, so we're going to table this. Anything else to add to it?
No, I was looking for the signage thing, and I couldn't see it when I was
You
looking,
did it.
when I was talking to him.
Very good work on this.
Okay,
Thank you.
no, thank you. I think that's it, then.
For Leora Ben-Ami, tax map number 300-23-1-27 at 30 Bay Inlet.
Yes.
Diane.
Yes, the resolution calls for a 6-foot-high, 15-foot-wide cedar gate. It is 5 feet 5. It's very, very nice. It's absolutely ready for a C of O. There is no keypad, it's a motion gate. And they're in exact compliance, so I instruct staff to notify the building department that this is ready for a C of O.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is that it?
No.
No.
No, Shillowit.
No, it shows.
It does not have an approval.
What doesn't?
Shillowit, which is land planning at 26 Ards
Oh, there's
Lane.
something on, there's another one added? I didn't see that.
No, it was taken off, but I wanted to discuss it because it's still, to me, live. Can you check, we're not going to do a vote on this or anything, that the fence was included in the application that we made a resolution for? Because the fence is brand new, and I do not recall, and I did not see a copy of the original application that included the fence. So we're not going to consider this tonight, but I wanted to at least point it out. Resolutions to be
Can you
signed.
tell me what the applicant is?
Missed that, I'm sorry. What was the issue with,
There's a new fence on the property that I do not recall
on the,
on the original site plan or on application. Great.
and they were supposed to be for a CO?
Yeah, oh, yes. And I'm not so sure that they don't need an application for the fence. So I need to check. So Morty's Oyster Stand on this resolution,
It's just the, application, I highlighted it right here.
So, question, are we signing this anyway?
Yeah.
Before their other modifications, I guess,
I mean, it had to be signed anyway.
right?
well,
Unless they modify it.
this
you know,
one for?
it's got a double-sided sign on it, which is not there.
It's not there.
Well,
No, but you're
no,
signing the
no.
resolution.
But I mean, the modifications to the pass-through, with the pass-through door.
But you'll still sign the resolution if
sign
they
this?
come in for
Okay.
modification.
Yes, because it's up to the applicant to,
Just wanna make sure.
This is
to
a
indicate.
Can't change.
resolution, not
Yeah.
a vote.
it's
They
up
have
to
to
the
decide
applicant
what they
to
wanna do.
indicate if they want to modify or just bring it into compliance.
All right, so this is for Morty's Oyster Stand Care, Jack Luber, 2167 Montauk Highway in Amagansett, tax map number 300-110-1-10, and this resolution is as of April 25th, 2019.
I'm not sure that you can't sign it.
No, if you weren't here, that's why I'm reading the dates, so that you know. Okay, well, we'll go, again, Morty's Oyster Stand, 2167 Montauk Highway in Amagansett, tax map number 300-110-1-10, for a date of April 16th, 2019.
We're almost done, you might as well.
Which is that?
Which one is this?
Same one.
For the sign?
One is for signage, one is for change of commercial.
Oh, both had modification, both had
Okay, got it.
scrivener's errors? Got it.
This is for the Northwest Fire Substation, 18 Old Northwest Road in East Hampton, tax map number 300-135-2-19, 15.2 and 34.2.
What was the one I just signed, if this is Morty's?
That's
This one
another,
is for business sign, that's change of commercial.
Oh,
Both had a scrivener's error. This Montauk, or this fire substation,
Don't worry, yeah, no, don't worry.
okay. If you
We'll
have
get everything.
reviewed the tape on the Montauk Fire Station, you can sign this if you're familiar with it. If you're not familiar, please do not sign.
Montauk Fire Station,
The antenna.
no, I don't.
this
But
is,
you reviewed the tape.
this is if you reviewed the tape of the prior meeting.
Do the tape.
For
this
Northwest-
wasn't, but this wasn't about, this was a change to, this was a new building.
No,
This isn't about an antenna,
let me see.
So it was about a-
it's about the building.
If it was October, it wasn't.
That they were looking for a building permit.
Where'd the antenna come from?
He said, Richard said antenna.
No.
This was a resolution Nancy Lynn instructed
That's right.
the board.
A different one.
Oh.
This is the roof material will be standing seam architectural roof panels, the color will be bone white. The exterior wall material will be aluminum wall panels. The color will be cypress fern green. The color of the overhead bay doors will match the exterior walls. Now, what happened was this was reviewed in October. The actual resolution was October 26,
But he never got one.
2017.
Oh,
and it was
yes, I
never
did,
done.
you're right, I did review that.
Thank
Got
you
it.
very much.
Yes.
TT's Montauk, tax map number 300-6-3-9 at 466 Westlake Drive in Montauk, the meeting of May 23rd, 2019. For TT's Montauk, again, 466 Westlake Drive in Montauk, tax map number 300-6-3-9 of May 23rd, 2019. For Montauk Cycle Company LLC, 463A Westlake Drive in Montauk, tax map number 300-6-3-4 of May 23rd, 2019. For Surf Lodge, care of Biondo and Hammers, 183 Edgemere Road in Montauk, tax map number 300-27-3-14 of May 23, 2019. For Adam and Sarah Wartsky, 197 Norfolk Drive in East Hampton, tax map number 300-39-8 May 23rd, 2019. For Round Swamp Farm and Market and Bake Shop, 71 South Elmwood Avenue in Montauk, tax map number 300-49-4-45 of May 23rd, 2019. For Ian Sachs, care of East Hampton Fence and Gate, 533 Old Montauk Highway in Montauk, tax map number 300-69-2-26.1 of May 23rd, 2019. For Robinson Clark, care of James Petrie, 690 Ham Street Road in East Hampton, tax map number 300-74-3-5, May 23rd, 2019. For Ivan Cara of 8 Montauk Avenue in East Hampton, tax map number 300-116-2-13.5 of May 23rd, 2019. For Tom O'Donoghue, 63 Highview LLC, 178 Gold Path in East Hampton, tax map number 300-135-2-6.3 of May 23rd, 2019. Rosie's Restaurant, care of William Duffy, 195 Main Street, Amagansett, New York, tax map number 300-171-1-15 of May 23rd, 2019. Stephen Talmadge, for Stephen Talmadge of care of Green Logic LLC, 37 Long Lane in East Hampton, tax map number 300-185-1-2.08 of May 23rd, 2019. For Carissa's The Bakery, care of Leonard Ackerman, 221 Patago Road in East Hampton, tax map number 300-188-1-12 and 13 of May 23rd, 2019.
That's because your first name is so long.
No, I totally abbreviate. This is my signature. I can't even do it now. I'm too tired. Look, I can't. I'm sorry. This would not be, this is, you've seen me sign it, so you know it's legitimate. It doesn't look like my signature.
Well, you all were very busy.
Weren't they? They did a great job.
It was,
They did a great job last night. Thank you, Peter. Thank you,
Well, they
everybody.
really took the brunt of it. Oh my gosh, both of you.
I'd like to make a motion to close this meeting. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.